shoppers out there in the big city, all you street people with an ear for the action, I've been asked to relay a request from the Gramercy Riz. It's a special for the Warriors. That's that real live bunch from Coney. And I do mean the Warriors. Here's a hit with them in mind.
She's crazy like a fool. Why my daddy cool?
Just hang loose, blood. She gonna catch up on the rebound on the med side.
What it is, Big Mama? My mama raised no dummies. I duck a rap.
Cut me some slack, Jack.
Say
cutting, Chump don't wanna help, Chump don't get the help.
Say can't hang, say 7-Up.
Jive ass dude don't got no brains anyhow.
Sexy, easy as 1, 2, 3.
Just let your soul glow. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul glow, baby. Feeling oh so silky smooth. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul glow.
Soul glow.
Am I the meanest?
Show it up.
Am I the prettiest?
Show it up.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this time?
Show it up.
Well, who am I?
Show it up.
Who am I?
Show it up.
I can't hear you.
That boy is good.
Good and terrible.
Hey, y'all, welcome back to the show, man. It has been a long time, and I apologize for that. Your boy's been busy. I've had some crazy shit going on over the past couple of weeks, things that require my attention, but it feels good to be back behind this here mic and this camera and just to talk about Hollywood nonsense. So now you got to forgive me because I'm feeling a little rusty, a little dusty. I feel like my aura is off. I feel like my Riz is not quite there. Riz. Are the kids still saying Riz? Because I have no idea. I can't keep up with the slang anymore. So, but here's the thing. I'm feeling a little off, but it's okay because this time, I'm not going to be doing it alone. I'm going to have some help today. We're going to be talking about all these just things that have been popping off, man, in the industry. So, yeah, man, settle in, buckle in, get yourself a drink, maybe pop a few edibles or two like I did. Just saying. But no, this is going to be a good time. It should be a good time because, my special guest, she always brings it and we always have stuff to talk about. So, and I love her input. I love the way she thinks. She's like a much cleaner version than me. So, with all due, let's give it up, man, for Danny from Comics and. Danny, welcome to the show.
Hey.
We are happy to have you back.
I kind of miss Jessica. What can I say?
That look, again, you have to understand, I'm stoned a lot of the time. So.
Hey, we are both the two people in our circles that are most likely to be accidentally stoned at any given time. So it's fine. And it's, it's a fun thing now. I get to use the "it's me, Jessica" gif, all the time. So.
Things I'll never live down, right?
Yeah. I miss you though.
I know. You know what? I miss myself. Like I feel like I haven't streamed in so long, man. Like I feel like it's been a while since I've done this.
No.
And you know what's funny is like I didn't realize how much I miss it until I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, I do. I've been on a break myself. Little bit of bereavement. Lost my grandfather.
Oh,
and
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. He was very much my dad, my father figure, and a very big influence on my life. And I really needed to, because families go crazy when there's a loss, and mine is already crazy. So it really didn't help matters. So I just needed to take a minute. I really refocused and dedicated a lot of time on all my time, it seems, on the comic and these short stories that I'm getting ready to publish on Amazon Kindle in the next few days. I've just been
You know what? Now that
writing
you bring it up,
nonstop.
actually,
So,
remind the good people about your comic and what you got happening.
ooh, I'll give you a link too.
Yeah.
So my name is Danny, by the way. I have a channel called Comics and over here on the YouTubes, but I'm also an author and an indie comic creator. And I have a live campaign right now where you can pre-order and back one of the coolest, I would dare say, most unique comic stories you will come across. So you want me to drop the link in the private chat?
Yeah, yeah, do
So
that.
you
And
can, okay. All right, there we go. So it's about a rural Midwestern family's act of kindness goes horrifically wrong and turns into a supernatural home invasion, leaving Emma Hogan to survive the night alone, while her twin brother Jimmy has to race against the clock to try and save his family from forces unknown before they are lost forever. So if you love vampires, Greek mythology, James Bond, even. Like, this chick has a weaponized prosthetic leg that is more tricked out than James Bond's Aston Martin. And I'm not exaggerating. James
oh,
Bond would
I love
sell his
that.
Aston Martin for this thing. So I working on this for many, many years. It's adapted from a novel I wrote exactly 20 years ago. I'm very, very proud of it. I've put everything into it. I have an amazing artist. He's a Rippaverse artist by the name of Evan Scale.
Yeah,
My
I was just gonna
editor
ask you
is
about that. Who did
Rippaverse
the
artist.
artwork? Because I really
He
I'm always curious,
It's
like
good, right?
who you indie writers hire for this kind of work. So
Well, I his name is Evan Scale, and I found him because my editor, who's also my best friend, Caro Brown, um, she has worked with him many times uh, on her books, Dirty Deeds, which are Rippaverse books. And when I was asking her, like, "Hey, man, you're like, give me a list of artists because I really need to get some artwork going." She's like, "I could give you a list, but I can tell you right now, you're gonna want Evan." I'm like, "Please give me a list. Like, just give me a list." She's like, "I'm going to, but I'm just telling you, you're going to want Evan." So she
right.
did give me the list. And when I looked at Evan's stuff, I was like, all right, let's talk about Evan. So remember I said, there's some Greek mythology involved in it. Evan happens to be Greek.
Oh,
And I
look at
was
that.
like, shut your face. Like, there's no way. So we hit it off right away. And this guy is so intuitive. We've clicked so well that when he drew the first splash page, which is horrifying and gorgeous. It's amazing. It looked like he just picked it right out of my head. And I told him that. He said, "Well, you're just so descriptive." I'm like, "Will you stop being so Catholic and humble? Like, this is incredible. You have such an amazing gift." He is so unbelievably talented. So I have an amazing team behind me. And not only is the campaign live right now, and we've extended the campaign until November because one of the side effects of having such an amazing and talented artist is they're in demand and they're busy. So Evan got very busy for a few months and, for Rippaverse, which meant I'm indie, I went to the bottom. That's fine. I understand. I did not want to wait or trade him for someone else. There's no way. I knew right then and there this is the best guy for the job. And if it means we have to wait a little bit for the best guy for the job for perfection, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, no, that is super important, man. And you know what's funny too is
Yes.
it not only finding talent, I mean, it's not hard, right? Right. There's a lot of great talented artists. It's hard finding professionals, right? It's hard finding people
Mhm.
who can meet a deadline, people who you
Yes.
like, you pay them to do a job, they do the job and they go home and eat. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to find those
Yes.
kind of people. I find it even like kind of, not my I just feel like it's sometimes a little rough to hire friends or people that you kind of
Yes.
know to do this kind of work because they don't feel like they're on the same kind of deadline that a pro would do, right? Like a pro would be like, okay, I had this amount of time to get the work done, and they get it done. So finding a reliable artist is really hard.
Well, I don't know if I ever mentioned this to you before, but I owned a salon. I was a cosmetologist, or been a cosmetologist for like 20 years. I've been a business owner. I've been a boss, in charge of other people in that sense. And I've hired friends, I had friends booth renting from me or working as commission. And that struggle, that transition from, okay, during these hours under this roof, when it comes to this, I am your boss.
Yeah.
And that Danny is a totally different Danny. When it comes to Danny's money, that's a different woman. And
Yeah.
a
And
lot of,
it should be.
yes. And a lot of friends really struggle with that.
Right.
They expect you to give them a pass or go easy on them or be more understanding
Yeah.
because your buds, your friends, and etc. So that is a really big struggle. And I am definitely the type of person that we all rise together. If I have an opportunity to succeed in something or do something, I definitely want to take people with me.
Right.
My oldest, he's 26, and he's very talented, and he's always had an eye for this kind of, comics. Big surprise, I raise nerds.
You know what though?
But
Good, because nerds don't get in trouble.
ugh, I mean, they have mouths, so
Well,
there's that.
other than
But
that.
I have told him, I said, listen, here are a couple of my scripts. Study them, the format, and send me something. Let me see what you can do. And he's like, that terrifies me. Like, that was his response, because he knows. Just because he's my kid, it doesn't mean that I'm going to say, it's okay, honey. I'll just fix it for you. He knows that I'm going to expect, more from him.
Yeah.
And that comes from, I expect more from me. I will not ask someone else to do something that I won't do for myself. I'm a hustler. I work, like, even this whole time, this last week and a half, 2 weeks that I have been off or on a break, I've just been working. I have been writing nonstop. I've started writing, or I'm almost done actually. I'm going to be publishing some in-universe to my comics, short stories on Amazon Kindle. It's called The Last Dance of the Hesperides, and it takes place 2,500 years before Veiled Legacy Midwest Gothic. So it takes place in Piraeus, Greece, and it's about this family, this merchant family. And from this family, you get the first vampire, the first member of the Brotherhood of Abraxas, which is an occult group of scholars that have one mission and purpose, and the first vampire hunter. They all come from this one family, from the events of one night,
Right.
from one basically indecent supernatural proposal, if you will. So I'm going to be publishing those in the next week or so to try and, draw people in, get them hyped for the comic, introduce them to my universe, and supplement funding for it at the same time. Also,
Well, when they're
it's
done,
just
I
a
mean,
great
definitely,
writing
like, let me
exercise.
know, because I'll, circulate them on X and do all that good stuff and
Absolutely.
let
Thank
people
you.
know that,
Or they're only
where to
going to
find
be
it.
they're
What's
only
that?
going to be like $5. They're only going to be like
Oh, then
$5.
yeah, there you
So
go. I mean,
yeah,
$5 is a
like
cup of coffee.
yeah, I got a cover done already, and I'm really excited about it. Like, my husband's coming in at 1:00 in the morning saying, "You really should go to bed." I mean, I don't want to tell you what to do. Ladies don't like that these days, I hear. But
But you
I
know
mean,
what
I'm
though?
just
Here's the thing. It's for the best, right? Because I can be that person, right? Like
Mhm.
I could be working all night, but I know, like, the later it gets, the more loopy I get, and I'm probably not doing
I
my
get
best work.
punchy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I get real punchy.
yeah, so it's probably better that I just kind of cut it off and go back, because I also have a book coming out soon. It was supposed to come out months ago, but things happened, and I lost my editor and all these other things. But
Oh, that's the worst.
it is, and so it's pushed me back. But I'm like, you know what? I am going to get this done at least before September. So like, I want to have it published, ready, and done. So like almost a year
Did you find?
delay.
Oh my
But
gosh,
I found a new
that's
editor. Things are
good.
should be moving around a little
Do,
faster.
do you click? Do you
Yeah, oh
click?
yeah. No, this person's really good. They're good at what they do. They're reliable. They're not offended by the material, which is pretty important when you're dealing with me. So, especially
Oh, I want to read it
well,
so
because it's a
bad.
female. It's a female, and so
Mhm.
it's the book is literally about it's bartender's advice on how to pick up women, basically, and
Yeah.
from my days of being a bartender, and because I feel like these young men, they need help. They need a little help out there.
Yes.
Dating ain't easy in these streets anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, they don't leave the house anymore.
That's
They
what I'm
don't
saying,
leave the
man.
house.
And even when they go out, when they go to a bar, they don't know how to really act, right? So I want to
No, they're
give them
so
just a little
awkward.
help on how to, look, guys, there's a way to do this, right? And it's not gonna work 100% of the time because nothing does, but it at least gives you a leg up.
Yeah. It helps you find what works for you.
Exactly. If
That's
nothing else, it'll
good for
make it.
you.
No, look, I guarantee you this: you're not going to pick up. It's not going to work 100% of the time as far as picking up a woman. It will work 100% of the time, making you social, make you a more social person.
Give
So
you
you
some
will become
confidence.
more social after reading the book.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it
I
pays for
can't wait
itself.
to read it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, writing is hard, man. But I just going back to what we were talking about. The later you work, sometimes you just kind of write a bunch of garbage. I remember one night I just didn't sleep, and I finally fell asleep like around 8 a.m. And so when I woke up and I kind of read what I wrote, complete garbage. I wrote like 12 pages of just garbage, and I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. When my
I
body
used
says it's time to
to
go to bed, I'm just going to bed.
when I last year, like this the short stories, and it's going to be a series of short stories. I'm going to do it in like a piece at a time. Damn, don't do it, Danielle. I'm starting to sing Johnny Cash. Anyway, so I started writing it last year when I had one of my many knee surgeries, and I was doing it longhand in notebooks,
Oh
like
wow,
it just
old school.
furiously, like yeah. And I used to do that, like actually, it's like right here, like these. I would fill notebooks like this, just pages and pages of writing it longhand. And
Well,
I
that's how we used to
remember,
do it back in the day, back in the old days.
yeah, and I remember telling Caro about it because she was asking me, about process and stuff. And she was like, well, there's because she's actually, she has a degree in psychology. She said there is a connection, a kinesthetic connection between the creative parts of your brain and your hand. So it's deeper. You're able to tap that part of your brain much easier,
Oh,
more
from writing,
effectively from writing it out
handwriting, yeah.
longhand. And I was like, that's awesome. I said, I'm gonna need more notebooks. And she's like, no, no, no. She gave me an iPad with an Apple Pen. And she's like, here are all of your notebooks. Stop killing trees. Like, so I
Okay,
just take this iPad with me
that's
everywhere.
fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But it's super handy now
But
because
it's
not
still weird for me
only
though to write on a pad.
it it took some getting used to. It really did. But I use it for absolutely everything now. I write things out longhand. I sketch things out. I make little character sheets. I made my new logo on it at like midnight because I had an idea. I just keep it right there and can't sleep, have an idea. I'll pull out the iPad, do, and then there it is. I can type on it. It's got a keyboard. It's amazing. Highly recommend for creatives. It's incredible.
You know what? I'll keep that in mind. I still just I mean at this point I just use the notepad on my laptop because it's easier
Mhm.
than carrying around a book. But
Mhm.
back in the day, man, I always had some kind of journal with me and a pen, and because I was a screenwriter back in the day, so like I was constantly filling out those books, and
Mhm.
I probably went through like 20 of them.
I used to, I don't know if you tell me if you did this, but because I have so many of them still. Like this one is actually my lore Bible, but I used to carry around a notebook like this, and sometimes I still do. But specific emotions or something, like if I felt something somewhere, I would stop what I was doing and just kind of recognize the physical responses and what it looked like, what it felt like, my immediate surroundings, and I would write all of that down in the notebook so I could reference it later for character work.
Oh yeah, I all the time, all the
Yeah.
time. Like
It's a
I remember I
weird
used to even
thing
take them on
screenwriters
dates.
do. Yeah.
I would even take them on dates sometimes. So like I had no shame, man. I was just because
I
I was like,
know.
look, man, I was like, I am a writer. I need to be writing all the time, even on a date. Sometimes they appreciated it and thought it was interesting. Some thought I was just being an asshole. So
And others were like, "Oh God, not another screenwriter."
I know a screenwriter in LA. Jeez.
So original.
You know what? Good times though, man. Because you know what? You don't really see that anymore in LA. LA has its own
Really?
problems, but we're not going to get into LA's
No.
problems today.
That's
Uh,
okay. I'm in Missouri. I don't care.
oh my God. I feel so bad for my city, man. Even though I'm in Denver now, even though I'm in Colorado, LA is still home. You know, all my friends, all my
Yeah,
family
I
are there.
know.
I talk to my boy Gore all the time about this. Chris Gore from Film Threat. If
Yeah.
you guys haven't watched Film Threat, watch it. But him and
Yeah,
Alan Ing,
definitely.
they're still out there suffering, man, and it's
And
brutal.
man, Chris he really worked hard for, he works hard for LA. He really does. I feel bad. I do feel bad for the real people of LA that have to suffer under what goes on out there.
Well,
Listen,
and the crazy thing about that too is with Hollywood, like they're basically losing the film industry at this point. Right?
Oh yeah. Oh my
And
God,
and
we
that
talk
is
about that.
when that is your main product, that is insane,
Mhm.
right? Hollywood losing the film industry or LA losing the film industry is like when Detroit lost the car industry. It's literally that
Yes.
devastating.
Yes. Yes. And it's like it would what's a good analogy for this? Because Hollywood is losing the film industry to would be like Detroit losing the car industry to a 16-year-old in the backyard in here in Farmington or something. Like something that they would have completely laughed at, not taken seriously whatsoever, and ignored for 20 years. And then all of a sudden, like dominoes, it just boom, 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 boom.
They film more things in Georgia and in Georgia than in California now.
Mhm.
So yeah, that
Yeah.
analogy is pretty apt because it's that's who they're losing out to. And at some point, it's just going to be gone completely because they're making it so
Yeah.
unaffordable to shoot there that nobody's going to do it anymore, man. And
Yeah.
the crazy thing is when you go in LA, going to a movie theater used to be like an experience, right? Like it was always
Mhm.
busy, always crowded. It was like the hub of where everybody was. Going to a movie theater now in LA, it's you're lucky if it's half full. You're lucky if it's half full. So I mean,
And it's not that they're making it so unaffordable. They're making it just so miserable
yeah,
and miserable, inconvenient, and
and expensive. They're
stressful.
taxing them out the ass,
It,
and you
it's
cannot afford
yeah,
to shoot there.
it's absolutely everything. You are red taped, bureaucrated to death, and policied,
Yeah.
and just everything. I mean, everything. You can't do shit right for
The only
these people
filming that's really happening
anymore.
there are the things that happen on the lot, right? So things on the, like
Mhm.
they'll shoot on the Warner Brother lot, they'll shoot on the Disney lot, but outside of that, they're not really doing a lot of shooting. And even within those lots, there's regulations now that weren't there before. So I mean, they're basically just killing themselves at this point, and it's kind of sad because once movies go away, and not that movies will ever go away because we have streaming,
Mhm.
it just won't
Yeah.
be what it was. We're going to see less movie theaters for sure.
Mhm.
More. I guarantee you, more movie theaters are going to close down because who's going to the theater these days, right? I mean, some are, and we're going to get into that, but
Mhm.
I'm questioning if it's going to be enough to save the theaters. You know what I mean?
And that really, really breaks my heart, like, in so many ways. I live in a very, very small area in Southeast Missouri. Um, I mean, we have the county I live in has 70,000 people. The town I live in has maybe 10,000. The movie theater that we had has been here since 1992. It closed the last week of January, and I'm not embarrassed to say I cried. Like, we went because I wanted to just say goodbye and thank the people for their hard work and contributing to some, great moments. I mean, it was the only one we had, and they had already closed it down. Like, they didn't even finish out the whole week. It was absolutely
Wow.
devastating. And the thing that really, really got to me that people aren't understanding, and there's several things that they're just not cluing into. Hi, Jacob. Um, One is that you lose the movie theater experience, you're losing human interaction. It most definitely is a collective experience. I would go as far to say empathic experience, because there's definitely something to be said about the energy in that room. I mean, watching Endgame
I
when
was
we
just about to
actually
bring that up. Like that was like a unifying experience. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
that brought people together.
Yes. And without movie theaters, we lose that.
Yeah.
I mean, how people don't go to baseball games as much anymore since COVID, and now they're not going to movie theaters as much anymore. So you have that aspect. And then let's talk about what COVID did to it. So I noticed that, and I'm using my area as an example still. I noticed that a lot of people that, I'm related to or have known for a very long time were very, very harsh about the place closing against the owners and the theater itself, and I found that very shocking. Kind of like, well, they brought this on themselves. They haven't updated their decor or whatever since the 90s, and
Oh
you know
God. So they have those horrible seats.
well, and they just were complaining and complaining about it and saying how the screens weren't big enough, and it's in kind of a mall area. I'm like, what do you want him to do? Like, build on top of it? So
Right.
they just kind of, were piling on with it. I said, let me explain something to you. You are sitting here complaining that the carpet was ugly and, the seats didn't lean back so your fat ass could take a nap. But you were the same people that were saying that it needed to shut down when everyone had the flu in 2020. You said all those businesses, including mine, which I never didn't change anything, and no
Good.
one in my house got COVID. Um, he said that all the businesses needed to shut down during COVID. And guess what? That movie theater shut down for a year and a half. They still had bills. They still had property taxes. They still had things they had to pay for, licensing fees, etc. They still had bills to pay, and a year and a half without income. That PPP, that COVID money, that small business PPP, that didn't cover a year and a half's worth of
Oh,
bills.
absolutely
Trust me.
not.
Ask me how I
I
know.
I I know so
I
many people who lost their businesses, man. Look at Gary
Yeah,
from Nerdrotic, and
yeah,
him and his wife lost their business. You know.
yeah. I got 2,000 whole dollars for PPP. That's what
Wow.
I got.
That's it.
$2,000. That's it. That is it. Because my husband is a felon from marijuana.
Oh, jeez.
And And you can own a business as a felon, but you don't get that small business money during COVID. No. So that's besides the point. The point is, you're not getting income to
Right.
match the outcome, and they insisted that these businesses shut down. So, as soon as they say, "Okay, you can open this movie theater right back up," the state of Missouri, as well as a lot of others at the time, decided, well, now it's only fair that we pay teenagers $20 an hour to scoop popcorn. They need a these 16-year-olds who are still in
Right.
high school and living under their parents' roof and don't have any bills need to earn a living wage. They need $20 an hour to sweep
A movie
floors
theater is
and
not where
scoop
you earn a
popcorn.
living wage. I'm sorry. It's you know
Right.
what? Look, and I might sound like a complete dick saying this, man, but you probably shouldn't be working at a movie theater if you're over like 21. Like it's just it is what it is, man.
It should
It's a
not.
stepping stone job, right?
Exactly.
You're not there to earn a living
Exactly.
wage. You're there to just make a little money, right? I mean, the
There's a
theaters
reason why
themselves
they
don't
call
make
it
that much
entry
money.
level.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no, it's utterly ridiculous. And for
Yes.
me, the movie theater, that used to be my holy place, right? That used to be my, the place I go to meditate,
Mm.
right? I mean, it's a place where
Yes.
I would take dates. It's a place where I would, go if I had a bad day. It was just my sanctuary. And so for me, like and it's funny when people tell me that I'm just a chud who hates everything. Absolutely not. My problem is that I love film so much that I am hard
Exactly.
on the bullshit and the garbage that they put out now. So that's
As you
why I'm
should be.
passionate, but I don't hate everything, right? In fact, we're gonna talk about some things I like today
Mhm.
and some things that are just some bullshit. But here's the thing: I'm not afraid to call it out, and I think that's what people, we have to be nice about everything. No, the fuck we don't, and you guys know
No.
me.
Right? That's a disconnect that's going on. And I've talked about this on my channel a lot, that you should have standards. That's quality control. We get to be upset about these things. We should expect and demand excellence. They want us to pay for a product that you better deliver. There's nothing wrong with that. That is what we're supposed to be doing. And forcing us or yelling at us and shaming us and attacking us for doing so is just bullshit. It's just bullshit.
Well,
It's
and
exactly
also
what it is.
it's look. Were there shitty movies back in the 70s and 80s and 90s? Of course there were. Of course there were bad movies. But we got so much good stuff that it
Yeah.
kind of just overrode all that, man, because they focused on character and story, right? And
Yeah.
later on, the technology got better, so the special effects got better. So now, we're looking
Mhm.
at the visual aspect as well. But there was always a quality to these films. Now, of course, you had your B movies, and if you guys are old enough to remember, like the old, like, B movie section of the VHS store, of the video store, movies that went straight to video. You had those movies, of
Mhm.
course, but we knew what they were going in, okay? Like they weren't trying to
Mhm.
package the B movies as some big budget blockbuster. You knew what you were
Right.
getting when you rented a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, okay? Like, or a Steven Seagal movie. You just knew what you were
Close to
getting
my
into.
heart. Absolutely. But
Or
back
or
to
Scott Speedman, if you guys remember Scott Speedman.
oh yes, Scott Speedman. That takes me back.
I know, right? That's
But
the name.
to to wrap up real quick so we can move on to that. Right after they let these businesses open here and they hadn't been making money for almost 2 years, they decided as soon as they opened, they had to pay these kids $20 an hour. Nobody was coming to the theater because everything had been put to streaming. They figured out they repealed the Paramount laws and figured out we can own the store now. We don't have to worry about quality. We can make 100% product or profit by putting everything on streaming. So no one's going to theaters. They have no money to keep the places running. They're paying people more money than they should be making an hour. And now you're pissed that they don't have prettier carpeting. You did this. You did this. What do you expect? They
Yeah,
have
but even
absolutely
the ones
nothing.
with prettier carpeting are losing money.
Exactly. It just broke my soul to see this. Like, you stop listening to people out in LA and New York, okay? Stop listening. Get off the internet, okay? Go outside and talk to people in your own town. And listen, all of you out there in internet land, if you do not take care of the economy in your own town, your town will die. There will be no more town. So just basic economics there for you.
Now, I
Please
will say this
remember
though,
that.
in some defense,
Mhm.
people aren't going to the movie theaters anymore. Yeah, some people might critique like the decor or and all that, but I think a big part of it is just that Hollywood's not giving people a reason to go. Right? Hollywood's not. They're
That's
not
another
giving
big part of
people.
it too.
Oh, and let's not
Yes.
skip past the fact that movie tickets are $20 to $25 a pop now, right?
Mhm.
So you're asking people, okay, look, if I want to take a girl on a date, right, and I'm going to the movie
Mhm.
theater, I'm dropping 20, 40 for the tickets. Let's see, 20 for the popcorn, 20 for the soda, not sodas,
Yeah.
right? That's
We're
80,
sharing. We're
that's
sharing
that's
tonight.
$80 for a movie that might or might not be good. $80.
Yes. Yes. That's something we've talked on my channel about before too. Like, going to the movies used to be a cheap date.
Yeah.
And now it's like $100. Like, I mean, it took some serious convincing and some smooth talking on my part to convince Dave to go to the movies with me before that place closed, because he is such a tightwad. Like, he's like, that's like $100.
I mean, you
And
can't
I'm like,
blame them though. Like that's a lot to
I really
drop.
can't.
I
It is.
mean,
And now if we want to go to the movies now, we got to drive like 45 minutes to an hour away. And now I got to listen to him bitch about gas. So
see, that's the other thing we're not even talking about. We're not talking about gas.
Mhm.
If you're smart, you'll eat dinner at home. But if you're
Yeah,
on a
eat
date,
at home.
if you're on a date, you got to go out to dinner. You go out to a movie. Man,
Mhm.
you're dropping like about $200. It is insane.
Listen, get you a girl with a big purse and go to Deals or Dollar
Go to the
Tree.
dollar store, pick up some red vines
Yeah, I like Twizzlers better.
or whatever. Whatever your licorice of choice may be. You know.
Not to argue semantics, but get the Twizzlers. Anyway, but yeah, that with all that combined on top of it, Hollywood decides it, Paramount laws were gone. So they don't have to provide quality. They don't have to. They don't have to compete with anyone. So they just start throwing literally anything out there.
And again, to my point, we and you see it all the time on X. We get a lot of flack in my sphere, right, about us hating
Yeah.
everything and we're rage baiters.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're
Yeah.
not. Because here's the thing: because when we love something, we can't stop talking about it. When we love something, right? The problem is
Yeah.
like we don't get a lot to love these days. Like that's
That
the
is
big problem.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't like it, you are racist, you're a bigot, you're a chauvinist.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're all the ist. You're all the
What
ist. When
what did I get called I got called sexist the other day.
oh, that's funny.
And I was like, I'm a girl, so
Oh, you know what though? Oh, that doesn't mean anything. You know how many times I get called a racist against black people? I get called the blackface of white supremacy.
I've been told I have internalized ableism, so
That's insane.
and that and internalized racist towards Latinas and
What?
just it's just everything. I mean, when I went off about Starfleet Academy having a regular ass 1996 go push your own ass wheelchair
Oh
in
God, yeah.
episode, and I was like, this is supposed to be 1,000 years after they were capable of growing a spine for Worf. Why is she in a wheelchair other than to virtue signal?
Isn't that
And
crazy?
and I had, I'm not kidding, no less than 1,000 people on Threads, you know, the nice place. Um, I had 1,000 people tell me, "You don't know, maybe she chose to be in that wheelchair." I said,
Why the
"Listen
fuck
to
would you
me,
choose to be in a wheelchair when you can walk?
that's mental illness." And that's what I told them. I said, "Listen, I am someone who has to use mobility devices. I have a fake leg on right now, and more times than I care to have ever had to, I've had to use a wheelchair. It's in my fucking closet right now. And one thing I will never, ever allow myself to be lectured on by someone who has 2 fucking legs.
Right.
It's about who get you." Yeah, I got too
No,
angry and
I
my
get you.
brain farted.
It's like when like white liberals try to speak for black people. I'm like, no,
Yes,
no,
exactly. The white,
absolutely
yeah,
not.
thank you, white lady.
We're
Thank
not
you
going to
for
do
saving me,
this.
white savior. Thank you, able-bodied. Thank you,
Yeah, we're not going to
handyman.
do
Thank
this.
you for
Nah.
saving me. Yeah. So then that's when I got accused of internalized ableism. And then they tried to say it was eugenics. And I'm like, I think you might be stupid because that's not what eugenics is.
That's not even close to what eugenics is. That's
No,
ridiculous.
no. We're
Also, I'm
talking
sorry,
about
but if I could breed my
healing.
own Superman, I probably would. Like, I'm just saying, like,
This is
look,
why
man,
Dante's not in charge of anything medical.
I want my baby to have, not that I'm fucking too old to have a baby this might, but if I were younger, I would want my baby to have all the advantages in the world. So yes, I would breed my own super baby, man. Like, I just would.
Well, when I tell them that part of science fiction, and I'll narrow it down. Part of science fiction for, let's say, disabled people is that, you know, that looking towards the future and seeing that maybe this condition you have or something you're born with has been made a thing in the past. It's been cured. And you can watch a character or read about a character that was like you and is now cured and can walk or hear or whatever. And it's a nice little fantasy to live in. And you know that it's not going to happen to you or happen in your lifetime, but it does have a positive psychological effect on you. That
Oh
that
yeah.
is science right there. Um, and I tried to explain that when you remove that and you keep showing, no, no, that'll never happen. You have to body positivity.
Well, and that makes me
What you're actually saying is you stay down here.
right. Oh no, that's
You stay down
absolutely what they're
here.
saying, and it tells me that like there was a time when science fiction was written for smart people, right?
Yeah.
Like there was a time, right? Now
Yeah.
sci-fi is written
As
for
a mom,
very stupid people.
written by.
Written by stupid people for stupid people, right? I
Yeah.
mean, there's no way in hell you can convince me that Starfleet Academy wasn't written for stupid people. Me and Robert
I think I ate my comm badge.
Robert Meyer Burnett. Well, look, if you guys ever want to just get a deep dive into how stupid Starfleet Academy is, watch Robert Meyer Burnett's coverage of it because he goes all in, man. I rarely see Rob get
He went
mad.
off on it. I know. There's one of the last live streams I did before I went on break. He and I did a stream on my channel about how the For All Mankind now franchise seems to have picked up the legacy that Star Trek dropped off. And we most definitely talked about Starfleet Academy and I think I swallowed my comm badge. That is a fat joke.
Oh,
You
that
have
was
a chubby girl or a thick girl, however you want to see. I mean, she wasn't like, but she's a thicker girl.
when I saw that,
and
that's when I turned it off. I'm like, I can't go any further.
yeah,
I'm done.
like how on earth can you deny? That's a fat joke.
Look,
Like, she
as
just
bad as
loves me
as bad
so
as the
much.
Acolyte was, I gotta say it was so much
Worse.
smarter than Star Trek, than Starfleet Academy. Like, and Acolyte was bad. Okay, it was just fucking bad, but still written better than Starfleet Academy.
Starfleet Academy, listen, I have been told by some very successful Hollywood writers that people have been caught using Chat GPT to write dialogue that they're lying
I'm
about
not
it
even surprised by that.
consistently. Yeah, but and this person I was speaking to is absolutely disgusted. Um and some studio heads are like, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. Don't do that." And they'll public facing get on to these people about it, but then behind the scenes it's like, look, whatever gets the job caught. That's kind of the rule. They're
Sure.
using Chat GPT. So when I watched Starfleet Academy, I was like, oh, this is one of them. This is
Oh
one.
yeah, and it was pretty obvious. It was really
Oh my
obvious.
god. I mean, they had misspelled stuff on the hollow screens. They had Dax who should have been dead like 500 years before because symbiotes don't live forever.
Right.
They had the trash can play the theme from the original series.
I as far as I'm concerned, Star Trek ended with Enterprise. Like I think that was
Yep.
like I'll just leave it there, right? Like I don't need any modern Star Trek. I think it's all look, we're not going to ever get good Star Trek again. And I accepted
No.
that. Just
Yeah.
like I accepted we'll never get good Star Wars again. So
Yeah, it's
I,
gone.
I've let these things go. When Film Thread had their funeral for Star Wars, I really was saying my goodbyes. Like I wasn't just there for show and bullshitting. Like I said my goodbyes to Star Wars. So at this point, whatever they put out, I don't care. I
Dude,
literally don't care.
I actually filmed and I'm so heartbroken that Chris didn't show it during the funeral for Star Trek. I was like, you have no idea how much work I put into this. And I filmed, it's on my channel, you guys. You can see it. I'm over it. But I filmed like a full blown, like there's a church and there's like floral sprays in the shape of the Delta and the Enterprise, and I'm wearing a
Right.
black dress with a black veil, and I did the whole thing. I said my eulogies, and there's people crying and sniffling. I put everything into it because it meant something to me. I said my goodbyes to it because I mean, we have been watching this degradation. It's been going on for about 15 years, I'd say, but the last 5, it has just been sharp.
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
yeah.
just
I mean, starting with Discovery. I mean, it was just a decline ever since. And because even the J.J. Abrams movies weren't horrible. I mean, they were enjoyable enough to watch because at least they kind of respected the originals
Mhm.
for the most part. But everything after that now has just been bad. And so,
And
yeah, I
it's definitely like you said, it's not just Star Trek, it's Star Wars, it's Doctor Who, and it's not even just the sci-fi stuff. Like Bo told me to watch the interview with the vampire series at AMC. Said, listen, I tried 5 because I'm a huge Anne Rice fan, like massive. I tried to watch 5 minutes of it when it came out a couple of years ago, and I couldn't get through it. I'm like, listen, no, 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 no. You cannot race swap Louis de Dulac and then age him up 200 years and change everything about him. He wasn't a pimp. He wasn't gay. He was none of those things. He was a 23-year-old plantation owner in the 1700s whose wife died in childbirth and he became suicidal. So
wait. They race swapped the plantation owner.
yeah, and they made him a pimp in 1901.
Wow.
Oh, it gets worse. Now he's gay.
Of course.
And
Of course.
so I told Bo, like, all right, fine, I'll try to watch it. So I did, and it's so much worse than we thought. They've changed everything, like everything. So in Anne Rice books, vampires don't bone. They do not bone. They can't. They're physically incapable of it. So now
I can see that.
Louis and Lestat are homosexual. Or Lestat's more everything, but they bone, and it's more about the romance between Louis and Lestat, which is a really bad idea because one, it's abusive. Two, there never really was a romance between the two of them. They were companions. It's very difficult to explain. But the point is, Anne Rice's books were never, ever, ever about that. They were about humans. They were about humanity.
Okay,
It was about us.
I agree. But
And they
with that,
ended-
I'm sorry, really quick. With that said,
Mhm.
though, I understand that. The problem is though, right? And this is coming from a 100% heterosexual man. Okay, they cast the two sexiest men in Hollywood at the time, right? You know,
Oh, yeah.
they play them up together. I mean, it's almost like, okay, just go ahead and fuck already, guys. Like, you know, like that's how they
Well,
that's how they played them up, right? So I mean, I can
Yeah.
see, I can't blame anybody for jumping to that conclusion. I can't blame anybody.
I listen. It's definitely very okay. Definitely. All right. But that's not really what the books are about.
Sure.
It's about us. It's about humanity. And they have taken that and just nah, like nah, and they've changed everything about it because they do not care. And it's this feeling of a bunch of kids. Oh, there he is. Hey, Chris.
What's going on,
Uh,
man? Glad you're watching.
It's this feeling that a bunch of kids are, home by themselves for the weekend. And they're like, I don't see what the big deal is, why mom and dad think it's so hard to run this house and pay bills. I'm like, we can do better. We know better than they do. And then they just burn the house down. Like, Anne Rice
Anne Rice
has
was a
been
very
writing the
different kind of writer, man.
amazing.
And
Yeah.
honestly kind of missed because I feel like her brand of I can't even call what she does horror, to be honest with you.
She's more see, my mother should not have had me read those books at the age that she did. Like, I'm very
Oh dear
conflicted
God.
about that
I'm
because
almost afraid
I
to
was
ask you, how old were you when you started reading those?
I was 14.
Oh, I'm
I was
so old.
14. It was 94. I was 14. It's when I had my amputation in high school. No internet. I had like 3 channels on the TV in my room. I was lucky to have a TV in my room.
Oh no, I hear you.
So there wasn't much for me to do. And I was a big fan of vampires. I read Christopher Pike's entire The Last Vampire series, like devoured it in a couple of days. And she's like, here, read this. And there is a lot of stuff you should not be reading at 14 years old. She's very, oh God, you can see I'm getting nervous to try and explain it.
It was like
She has
it was sensual, right? It wasn't sexual, but it was sensual.
erotic. There's a lot of eroticism, and she did write some eroticism, like straight up erotica. And there is a lot of homoerotic stuff. Some of it gets very like, how old is that boy?
Oh
kind of
dear God.
thing. Yeah. But the books are just like, you cannot put it down. They are so intriguing and exciting. They are not doing her any. My favorite book of all time is The Witching Hour by Anne Rice, and they did a series about that as well. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is like an amazing idea. That would be an amazing series. Do The Witching Hour. It's like they took out the meat of the book, wiped their asses with it, tossed it, and put bubble gum in it instead. Like, put that on TV. That'll work because we know better.
But again,
than the
not
mind
written for
that created all
smart
of
people,
this.
right?
Exactly.
Not written for smart people.
Long
And
story even
that's the
longer. That
problem
was
with
my point.
Hollywood overall, is that they insult their audience. right? They don't have faith in their audience. There was a time when you didn't have to spoon feed everything to an audience, and it all boils down to they're writing for an audience that isn't there, right? We always talk about the modern
The
audience.
modern audience.
It's not there.
Mhm.
It doesn't exist. But for some reason, Hollywood keeps making
I
projects for these people that don't exist.
I don't understand this. I do not understand it. Because are we not still making period pieces? Are we
Yeah, but we're doing weird shit like Bridgerton, right? Like all of a sudden there's like, this black aristocracy in the Gilded Age. I'm like, what are we doing here, folks? Like,
God. He made me
why?
watch that too.
Look, I'm sure there might have been a couple of black folks in France around that time, but let's just really stop this here. I mean, it wouldn't have been to this degree, to this level. They wouldn't have been, intertwined with the monarchy, like the way they are. It's so fucking ridiculous. But
It's dangerous. It's dangerous because dumb people, really dumb people and kids who don't read anything else or watch anything else or leave their houses, watch these things and they believe that it's history. Like,
if they're looking at Bridgerton like history, then we're done. Like humanity is done. Like we've had a good run. You know what I mean?
He who does not know his history is doomed to repeat it. All those atrocities, all the mistakes we've made in humanity's past, we will repeat if we do not keep reminding ourselves or warning or telling the stories of what happened and how we moved past it.
I agree. But you know what? Speaking of dumbing down their audience, we gotta talk about Supergirl. So but
Yes,
before we do
please.
that, let's read the super chat that came in. And this is
Yay!
from Russell Hall. What's up, Russ, man? Missed you guys on Wednesday. I wish I could still be there, but unfortunately things just kind of came up. But anyway, how the hell are you even supposed to oh my god, get your dick in those weird popcorn buckets they keep selling? Russell, you never disappoint, Russell. Will somebody please answer me that? Only Russell would ask that question. And Russell, when I find out, I'll let you know.
I'll let you know.
I'll let you know when I find out.
Oh, it's so funny.
But yeah, let's talk about Supergirl because
we've got to.
We're almost there. We're almost there.
I keep forgetting.
It's almost that time. So let's see. 1 second. There we go. All right, so let's just talk about it. Look, man. This is a sore spot for me because of how much I defended James Gunn. Like I defended James Gunn over and over and over, right? Like I was telling people, give it a chance, right? Give him a chance. He's proven he's a good director. He's proven that he could bring it, right? He can
do ensemble pieces. He can work with unknown.
Yes.
Stories.
He can make unknown characters a household name. I'm like, let's just give him the benefit of the doubt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing but disappointment since he's been at DC. Like and this is from a guy who I didn't think Superman was a bad movie. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and shit on Superman the way some people do. It just wasn't great, and I'm sorry for a DC rebranding. Superman needed to be great, and it wasn't great. So
it's okay.
At best, James Gunn is coming into DC with a limp, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, well, this is the first movie out the gate. Let's wait and see. And this is before I heard about the announcement of Supergirl. So I'm thinking, okay, we still got Batman, Wonder Woman, we still got Green Lantern, Flash, we got some things that we can do here. And then when they announced Supergirl's the next big project, the next theatrical release, I was like, okay, wait, I don't mind a little drunken mess of a Supergirl, right? There's a way to do this right. And then we see the trailer for Supergirl, and I'm just like, okay. I'm like, I can't keep defending anymore. Danny, let me ask you, as a woman, as someone who, I wouldn't say is pro girl power, but but you have the feminine eye. as someone who is into this kind of stuff, who's in the nerd sphere, does any part of this movie like pull you in? Like, do you want to see this movie at all? I mean,
I would go one step further and say, as a woman who actually writes
yeah,
women
even more so.
superheroes, no, it doesn't, because one, it's Guardians of the Galaxy. It's Guardians of the Galaxy. She even has the exact same headphones as Star-Lord. And I had so many dumbass kids, so many dumbass kids say, "Oh, they both have, headphones from the 80s." Obviously, I'm like, do you people think we only had one pair of headphones?
I know, right?
One kind of headphones? I'm like, are you stupid? Yes, that's the answer. It was rhetorical. Anyway, so one, it's Guardians of the Galaxy. And you have also people like, well, he's not directing or writing, but he's producing. James Gunn is producing.
And
So
it looks like a
if he
James Gunn
doesn't have-
movie. Let's be honest here.
Yeah. Yeah. If you think he doesn't have any input, think again. So there's that. Two, I know a lot about Supergirl. I know a lot about Supergirl. I've read her for many years. I did a huge project on her just a few months ago, did a breakdown on the channel on her. I've read Woman of Tomorrow, the book they're supposedly adapting for this movie. And I have caught them, James Gunn specifically, in so many lies.
Yeah.
So many lies.
Yeah.
And confirmed it. He said they were doing a 1-to-1 adaptation. It was the closest adaptation they've ever done. It's absolutely not. He said that what someone asked about her being older than Superman or remembering Krypton. And he said, how could she remember? She was a baby. Like, my God, he doesn't even know what he's talking about. They don't know what they're doing. Like, the people that are making it right away have no idea who this character is and clearly don't like it. Then the thing that got me the most and really just like the only reason I will see this movie is because, to review it. And so I can have an informed conversation about it. In the book Woman of Tomorrow, the only reason that she is in a red sun solar system is to celebrate her 21st birthday and get hammered. That's why. That's the only reason. She does have trauma in her past and sadness because she did watch her planet, her people get destroyed pretty much twice, but that's it. In the trailer, she makes comments she's avoiding, she's hiding. She's out hiding from Earth. She's hiding from her cousin Superman. She doesn't want to be a hero. She's avoiding it. She's just on a pub crawl, getting wrecked, hiding from responsibility. That is not Kara Zor-El. That is not Supergirl. Even in Woman of Tomorrow, when she's partying for her 21st birthday, she makes it very clear to Ruthie, our motto, we do not kill. We do not kill. And she makes it very clear how much she admires and respects her cousin Cal, Superman, and how she wishes she was more like him. She aspires to be more like him. That's why she wears the costume she does, because she wants to be like him, to portray that goodness, that hero energy. She wants to be a hero. She is a hero.
Which honestly would have been a better storyline, right? Like
Yes.
the fact that she's striving
Yes.
to be, like Clark.
Mhm.
And look, I didn't mind, doing the drunken mess thing if there was like an underlying, I don't know, like her being a broken hero, right? She's still a hero, right? But she, she has some demons that she has to kind of wrestle with because
Mhm.
she did see her planet blow up, right? Like I get that, and that does make her a little bit more interesting than just being the female Clark Kent, right? Because we already have Clark Kent, we already have Superman, so we have to do something that separates her from him. So making her just a little bit more sloppy, not a lot, a little bit more, right?
And she is, and she's a bit of a klutz, and that's historic for Supergirl. She's always been a bit of a klutz. She makes mistakes. She's a little impatient, a little too big of a hurry, to get out there and stuff and rush into situations. But she's still a hero. She still wants to do the right thing.
Like for example, I mean, you could look at Batman, like Bruce and Dick, right? Like
Mhm.
even when Dick took over for Batman and wore the Batman costume, you still saw the difference between him and Bruce, even with the same costume on, right?
Mhm.
So like, you have to make her a little different, even though they're kind of they're on the same team, you could say, right?
Mhm.
And they have the same uniform. You have to make her a little different. I get that, but what they're doing and what I've seen from this film so far is, I'm looking at it like, I don't know why they didn't just make a Lobo movie.
Exactly.
Like, there's nothing interesting about this character whatsoever.
We are just alike, because I've been saying this entire time, because this is going to be the only reason people are going to this film.
Oh,
Is to
absolutely.
see
They're going to see
Jason
Jason Momoa.
Momoa.
Yeah.
They've already, for weeks now, they've already been laying the groundwork for disaster control. Oh, people don't like seeing girls in superhero movies. People call me shut the fuck up. That's not, no, that is not true. People loved the first Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah.
We love female superheroes.
Elektra
When
is
they are
still one of the
written-
most loved, I won't call her hero, but anti-heroes, right? In comics, right? People love Elektra. There's so many female characters look, we used to love She-Hulk
Absolutely.
before that fucking show came out. Right? Everyone loved
She-Hulk
She-Hulk from
so
the
bad.
comic.
Yeah.
The
I've got
show
that
ruined her.
right there. Yes. We love female superheroes when they are written well, written as women, and not, okay, we need more women in the show, so just change Bob to Brenda and change nothing else. That's bullshit, and we're not stupid. The audience is not stupid. We can tell the difference between male and female mannerisms. Stop doing that. But we love our female superheroes. They're already giving her talking points. They're already preparing because they know that this is going to be a disaster. It's always ugh, I'm just so aggravated. And they've got this
Well, and
Ana
what kills me is like you said early, a few minutes ago, it's the damage control, right? It's we know we fucked up, but we have to find a way to blame the audience, right? And take the
Yes.
blame off ourselves. That's what's really
Yes.
pissing me off here.
Yes. Repeatedly attacking us for pointing out their failings, pointing out that they're being lazy and basically stealing our money. Like,
Well, I don't know how
they're
much
not
money they're
doing
going to
their job
steal.
anymore.
I don't know how much money they're going to steal because I know a lot of people who want to go see this film. I mean, I think this might be the biggest flop of the year, and that's saying a lot because there's already been Mando and
Mando.
Grogu. There's been Master of the Universe. So if this flops harder than that, I don't know.
We're kind of done with them playing with our toys because they always break them.
Yeah, no,
They
that's
don't play
basically what it
nice.
is.
Yeah.
And just going back to that, we don't like female, heroes or female characters. And again, they come to us, the chudosphere is what I call us now. They come to the chudosphere and they're saying that, oh, we just hate everything female, right? We hate everything gay, we hate everything whatever. And it's like,
Mhm.
again, for me, myself, my favorite story of all time is Alice in Wonderland. Alice is one of my favorite female characters, right? Since I was a kid. There's no way you could tell me that I have an issue with good, well-written female characters. The problem is though, is when you gender swap, or you lazily write something that we're supposed to get behind, or you Mary sue them because, and as much as I kind of hate that word now, that's what they are, like
Yeah.
Ray. You know, when you do shit like that, then yeah, you're not serving the characters, and on top of that, you're trying to blame shift your horrible fucking writing on us.
And what happened to writing fiction with honesty? What happened to writing fiction with a moral code and teaching lessons with it? Like good ones, not whatever bullshit agenda your studio head has handed down to you. But I haven't seen anything in the last several years that is giving kids or adolescents, or really, I mean, come on, anyone, anything that feels aspirational, anything they can look up to and say, I
And
can
there's a way to
do that.
write a
I want to
strong
do that.
there's a way to write a strong female character, like a superhero type character, right? I mean, look at fucking
Mhm.
Xena. I mean, like people love Xena back in the day. The warrior princess, it did better than Hercules
Yes.
because she was a
Yes.
well-written character. You know, she had her flaws, but she was still strong, and we supported that.
Yes. I loved Xena. I still love
Everybody
Xena.
loved Xena
Xena's a
back in the
big
day.
influence. She's a big influence on my work. But yes, you are absolutely correct. And if we are all about, lifting women up and putting women in the spotlight, then do that. But really do that. They think they're hiding this well, but they're not.
No, they're really not.
You know? I call it this cherchez la femme effect. They're trying to be so sneaky about it, and saying, "Oh, we're lifting women up." So they pick like the worst woman possible for a job, and they put her in it. She does terrible, things bomb, and then suddenly you get the quit hiring women. Like, see, this is the problem. And then they make these movies with a female lead character, and what do we get? What's the talking point, Dante? You don't like,
Yeah, we hate
superhero
women
movies
basically.
with women. Yeah.
But okay, but see, that's one thing, right? It's like, okay, sure, you guys can say that shit if you want. The problem is, no one's excited about this. No one's excited about Lanterns. No one's excited about Man of Tomorrow.
Oh,
No,
I feel
we're
like
just not excited for this shit because it's garbage. And look,
Yeah.
I'm not saying Lanterns is bad because we haven't seen it yet, and I want to be fair. But here's the
Right,
thing:
but
the purpose of the
trailers are-
trailer is to win people over to go see your thing. If the trailer sucks, if it looks like the thing is going to suck, you know what is more valuable than money? My fucking time, right? I'm not going to invest in an 8-episode show that's 8 hours of my life for something that I think is going to be bad. I'm not going to do it. I don't have that much time left, guys. Okay, like I'm a little older. I'm a little longer in the tooth. I can't waste my time on bullshit anymore.
I laugh so hard I have an asthma attack. Stop it. I don't know how many times I have had that argument in the last like 2 or 3 months. Like, you do understand the trailer is an advertisement. Are we judging something before the show comes out? Yes, bitch. I'm judging the trailer.
Best believe I am.
That's the point. I love Green Lantern. I love Jon Stewart. He is my favorite Green Lantern.
I'm right there with you. I love Guy. I love Kyle. I love, of course, I love Hal. I love Alan. I love Jade. I was a big Green Lantern fan.
I love them so much. Oh, right there. Right there. I got my one of my Green Lantern comics right there. And you are trying to tell me that the greatest, and Jon Stewart's supposed to be the greatest of all of them. You're telling me that he's petulant,
right,
and entitled, and Hal Jordan, who's the most noble, he's going to steal from a small business owner because he wants to listen to the jukebox.
And he's a has-been. Don't forget that.
And everyone knows that he's the Green Lantern.
And by the
Everyone knows
way,
that.
even if that's not the story, that's what they presented in the trailer.
Exactly. And
See, you see the problem here? This is what they're presenting,
Yes.
even if it's not true.
Exactly. And they're also presenting that there's only one ring between the two of them.
Which is ridiculous.
That's like the complete opposite of the Green Lantern lore. And you wonder why we all get pissed off. The whole point of buying an IP is that it comes in with a built-in fan base. All you have to do is put out a series or a movie and boom, you make money because it's already got a fan base. You don't even really have to work hard for it. We're already there.
So I have 25 years in marketing, right? Like that is my career. That's what I've done pretty much my whole life is marketing. I understand it on a fundamental level, on a philosophical level. I understand marketing through and through. And look, guys, we love film. We love the artistry of it. But at the end of the day, it's a business. And like any business, you have to know how to market your business, okay? Film is their product. That is the product of the studio. So being their product, they have to know how to market that shit. They've even forgotten how to market their own product at this point, man. Like they don't even know how to do it. And I bring that up because of this.
Yes.
What the fuck is this? Like, guys.
That is foreskin.
If you don't know what this is the movie cup. Now, here's the thing. There's people saying that it's not true. I've done some research. It's one of them. Okay. So there's other movie cups, but this is one of them. And it's supposed to be a trench coat around, the super costume. It literally looks like foreskin. It looks like a fleshlight, if I'm being really honest with you.
It looks like an uncircumcised cup.
It looks like something that should be sold in like a sex shop, if we're being honest with you. Like that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
But this is the marketing for Supergirl.
That was a choice. That was a choice.
That was a crazy choice.
Not only do we have a film where we are telling young girls it's totally cool and fine to be a drunken, messy, sloppy bitch and run away from your problems. That's actually really cool. You should do that.
I don't want to see what people are going to do with these cups, if I'm being really honest. Like that's how horrible this is.
Yeah. And
if you thought the Dune bucket was sexual, this is wild.
It looks like it has veins.
My God, you're right.
It's the same color.
Oh my God. Whoever did this should be fired. They should be fired, man.
Everyone up the chain should be fired because you're telling me no one who looked at the proofs, no one who looked at the prototype, no one who looked at the first cup thought, man, that looks like foreskin.
Oh, let's go a step further here. Let's go a step further. Supergirl is supposed to be for women, right? For little girls, right? To go watch and look up to. Is anybody going to buy this cup for their little girl?
Exactly.
Like
exactly my point.
Really? Is someone going to buy this cup for their little girl to go? What are we doing here, folks? And as somebody who's worked in marketing their whole life, like I have, I'm appalled just at how bad this is.
I'm appalled to have it on my screen. Like, are you kidding me? This is what we're marketing to girls and women as the first female-led, female superhero film for the new DCU. A messy, sloppy drunk who doesn't want to be a hero, who swears a bunch and runs away from her problems, and you get a fleshlight cup, uncircumcised cup, as a collectible.
Okay, now
all
here's
right, little Jenny. Let's go to the movies.
Here's where I don't believe this is an accident, right? Because again, I love James Gunn's work, right? I love Super. Super's one of my favorite films of his.
Yes.
It's with Rainn Wilson and what's her name? Or his name now? Ellen Page at the time. Ellen Page. And it's a really interesting superhero film. It's really fucked up, by the way, but it's really good, right?
Yeah.
But James Gunn comes from like, you know, what's that company
Trauma
called?
Studios.
Troma. He comes from Troma. Troma is known for
Blake
making
Kaufman.
very sexual, very explicit, very, you know, exploitive, you know, movies. But that was their bread and butter, right? So we were fine with it because those were movies for adults, right? Like Toxic Avenger, some of those kind of movies. So, but James Gunn has never really left Troma in his head, right? Because I guarantee you that this was not an accident. He probably thought this would be funny.
Yeah, he probably thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I do not I do not understand James Gunn. I don't. He and I are from the same place. You know, we're both from St. Louis. Not too far away from each other, but and this is what really ticks me off is he lies constantly about what it's like where he's from because he is from the richest part of St. Louis. He is from where all the professional athletes live.
Oh, he pulled the Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, right? Where they're supposed to be from Boston, but they're really from like upper scale Massachusetts. Yeah.
Yes, he and all his siblings, and there's like 6 or 7 of them. They all went to Catholic private school up through high school. Do you have any idea how expensive that is? That's absolutely insanely expensive, especially in West County, St. Louis. It's ridiculous. And he has said some really stupid shit. Like, he wanted the farmhouse in Superman to resemble the farms that he grew up around.
Oh, dear God.
There are no farms in West County, St. Louis, first of all. Second of all, I have a farm in Missouri. And I don't live in a trailer. I don't know any farmers that live in trailers. Okay. And then he made some comment about why the Kents talk like they're Appalachians.
Oh, by the way, the part of the film I hated the most were the Kents.
Yeah, people really were pissed.
I did
about
not
that.
like the Kents, man. I was pissed off. I'm like, why are they hillbillies, dude? Like, what is this, man? We go from Kevin Costner and Diane Lane. Really?
Yeah. And so people called him out on that and said, why do they sound like Appalachians and Clark sounds nondescript?
Right.
And he said, well, you know, you leave, you go to college, you change your accent. You know, the same thing happened to me. I went to college and got made fun of for how I talked. I said, you are so full of shit. Do you hear how I talk? Do you hear how James Gunn talks? We sound exactly the same. It's the same accent because we both have St. Louis accents. This is how St. Louis sounds. Are you kidding me? You are such a liar. Everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie now.
No, they do this all the time. Like it's like these elites in Hollywood, they love to cosplay as the poors, right?
They do. Yeah, they're the poors.
they do.
I defended him just like you did. I love the Guardians movies, especially Volume 3 really got the sloppy tears from me. I never thought I would ever relate to a cartoon raccoon, but oh my God, it just gets me every time. I love those films. Yeah. I love Brightburn. Brightburn is really good. He's done some amazing work, and I would tell people, you know, he's really good with obscure stuff. He's really good with ensemble pieces. You know, let's let him cook. And boy, did he burn the shit out of some water. Like, how do you fuck up Superman? How?
Well, okay, here's the thing.
So easy.
Well, no, it's not. I think it's very easy to mess up Superman. I think a lot of people don't get him at his core. I think there were parts of the performance from Corn Sweat that I thought were really good.
Yeah, he's a great Superman.
But I think Superman, even though he's simple in who he is a very easy character to screw up because I've seen him screw up or seen them screw him up too many times, right? They love it because you know it's the idea that he's a boring Boy Scout of a character, right? Kind of like how they tried to do that with Captain America, but they couldn't because he's just too good of a character. But it's easy to do that with like a Superman or a Captain America, where you know because they're noble, people try to equate noble with boring, where they take a guy like Frank Castle, who's complex, right? And they say that's a great character, right? And by the way, guys, I love Frank Castle. I'm not shitting on Frank Castle, but that's what they try to do. So I think it's actually very easy to screw up Superman as a character. You know who got it right though was the Superman animated series, right? Like that was probably the best depiction of Superman was the animated series.
Yep.
And I have not seen him portrayed like that in the film yet.
It's all this, and I'm gonna do a callback to the Interview the Vampire thing, because I just kept thinking while I was watching it that this feels like fan fiction. It feels like someone's fan fiction. And then it dawned on me, that's what this is. That's what all of this is. It's all their self-insert fan fiction. Now, as a writer who does have a story or a character that there is some self-insert going on with the character, that's an original character. It's my character. It's an original story, an original character. When it comes to legacy established characters, especially ones that have been around for almost 100 years, you cannot do that, especially ones like Superman. Superman is supposed to emulate all that is good. He was created by the sons of Jewish immigrants during a time where being an immigrant was a very scary thing, because there was very scary things going on in the world. And a lot of people were scared, terrified. So they created a Superman who was a beacon of hope, who was hardworking and was there to help people and not hurt people. He was supposed to show everyone that not everyone who immigrates or is a refugee or whatever is here to take over and be hurtful or whatever. He was this beacon of light and hope. They are shitting all over that. At the end of Superman, what did we see? The parrots, his real parrots, said, go down there and use your power, get a harem.
Right. Yeah, I love the harem part.
Yeah, take over with your dick. Just, shag your way across the planet, repopulate Krypton through all the human vagina. So there you go. If anyone resists, just, beat the absolute shit out of them. That is the complete opposite of what Schuster and Siegel had created Superman to represent. And that felt like hurtful. That's not Superman. That is fan fiction. And every time I see another writer, another filmmaker take on one of these established legacy characters and take that legacy, take that lore and just wipe their ass with it and put some crazy half-cocked Chat GPT story in there, it just
and also, it's like it's almost to some degree that he made. Let's be honest, it wasn't a Superman movie; it was a Justice League movie, right? I mean, we had Guy Gardner, we had all those guys in it, so
it was invincible.
Yeah, which, by the way, I mean, I love Guy Gardner as a character. Like, I have no problem seeing him in anything, especially Nathan Fillion, right? I mean, I could watch Nathan Fillion in anything. So for me, that didn't bug me at all, right? But the problem is when you have a guy like Mr. Terrific steal the show of a Superman movie, there's some problems there, man. And again, you're not doing Superman any favors here. Look at that.
How's
exactly.
That? Like, I have Guy Gardner over there too. I have Mr. Terrific, and he's very flexible. I mean, this is
wow.
impressive. I know, right?
Good for him.
But I have Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner. I don't have Superman.
That's the problem. A lot of people don't. They flock to everybody else. I mean, even Hog Girl, which I thought, I guess that's an interpretation of her. I feel like that's, now you talk about a hard character to write. I think Hog Girl's one of those. But still, you had Superman getting shown up in his own film, right? And now again, we're jumping to Supergirl, where instead of doing a Wonder Woman movie, which he probably should have done, or even just, I don't know, anybody else, we're getting this mess. And honestly, it's not going to do well. I think Supergirl is going to bomb. Look, and I'm not saying anything profound here. I think we all know it's going to bomb. It's not even like I'm saying something like no one else knows. Okay, there's no way you could look at what's happening here and say that's going to be the movie of the summer. I don't think people are going to show up for it.
Yeah, I don't think it. I don't think it's going to do well. I don't think any big Hollywood studio movies are going to do well anymore, especially Supergirl.
But staying on the DC track, and before I do that, so I'm gonna read some super chats that came in, because there's some more news coming out of Warner Brothers that isn't great. So, and I hate saying that, but it's just not. But before I get into it, let's see who we got here. This is hey, what's up, man? Albert, not a retro, for $10. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. Holy smokes, a girl. Touching those twice if you need help. For the record, I'm good with girl power as long as it's not expense of me dignity, or my dignity probably. Good luck finding that these days. I agree, man. I agree. And you know what? It's not that hard to write a good female character. Again, some of my favorite characters are female, man. I look at, like, my favorite game of last year was Expedition 33, and it was a female protagonist, or a few of them for the most part, and it was well written. They were able to write complex women that were feminine, that were ambitious, that were all these things, man. It's not that hard to do if you actually just gave a fuck, right? Anyway, let's look at the next. All right, next we have Deranged Lunatic for $1.99.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. I fell asleep. I'm glad you're here, man. And you know what? It's Saturday. Sleep all you want, man.
Sleep in, Dio.
Yeah,
and
sleep
Cynthia.
in. Take some naps. That's what I'm going to do after this. Believe that. Deranged Lunatic. Hey, membership for 9 months. Thank you so much, man. Hey, kiddo. It's good to see you back. It is good to see her back. And believe me, I'll have her on a lot more.
Hopefully.
Albert, for $10. I didn't like the Wonder Woman movie. I despise Gal Gadot. I hold Gal and a director in the same anti-men contempt. I do Rachel Zegler. She's not going to rescue. She's not going to be rescued by the prince.
Oh yeah.
Okay, look, man. Here's the thing. I get what you're saying, but before we knew anything about Gal Gadot, I thought the first Wonder Woman movie was solid, right? I hated how they portrayed Ares, but it was a solid film for the most part. So,
yeah.
And that's because Ares is one of my favorite villains. So I don't like the way they portray him.
It's a great one.
Next up is
Russell again.
Russell. Oh, Jesus. For $2. Why can't they just put a hole in the bottom? Russell. Russell, if you buy that cup, man. Actually,
if anyone buys that cup, I need to see it.
Actually, Russell, do me a favor. Get that cup for Nina. Get that cup for Nina Infinity, please.
Get that cup for me. Get one for Nina, get one for me.
Oops, read that one already. Yeah, please send that to Nina and tell her I told you to do that. Albert, for $10, thanks, man. Noble isn't boring. The invulnerable guy who can push the moon out of orbit and shoot lasers out of his eyes, that is never in any really danger, is boring. I agree with that. Joe Shuster was born from Toronto, Canada. Here's the thing, man. Superman is at his best to me when he actually has a real when he has real competition, right? When Superman is fighting Mongol or or Parasite, right? Or Darkseid or any of those villains or Brainiac. That's when to me Superman's at his best, when he finds somebody who can meet him at his strength. And I would say Zod, but I'm just tired of seeing Zod. I just am. We've already had 2 movies with him. Superman has a great cascade of villains. Let's bring some new villains into the movies,
And
right?
all the DC heroes do, but they keep reusing the same, like especially Batman. They just use the same Batman villains over and over again.
Oh, I already read that horrible one. Russell, man. And I think I have one more before we move on. Okay, so I read that, and this is the last one. There we go. All right, Albert. In defense of fan fiction, is that right?
Fan fiction, I think he meant.
Oh, okay. In defense of fan fiction, all the Star Wars Legends novels are and most of them are well liked by the fans. But that's the thing. I don't know if I would call like the extended universe fan fiction. I guess it is to some degree, but because it was written by George Lucas. No, you're right. I mean, I think most people do like them. Gunn didn't write fan fiction because he's not a fan. He has no respect for the lore or the mythos. I might disagree on that. I think Gunn does know these characters more than people think he does, but he's not showing it in the films, and I think that's the big problem. Man, I think Gunn has a pretty solid knowledge of comic books in general, man. And you have to remember, along with Guardians, and the reason why I say that is because of Guardians 2, right? Because Guardians 2, a lot of people for some reason didn't like. I loved Guardians 2 with Vigo, the human planet and all that, because I read those books, right? And the fact that Gunn brought in the original Guardians, he brought in Starhawk, Martin X, Charlie 27. These are books I read when I was in, this is the Guardians of the 80s, right? People didn't even know about that team at all. So the fact that he brought those characters into the movie tells me he does know his stuff. A lesser director would have no idea. So why Gunn is doing what he's doing now, I don't know. Maybe, and I think it's because he's overworked. He's overtasked. There's a difference between being a director and a studio head, right? And I feel like he's trying to do too much, and he's overextending himself. I really don't know. I don't have the answer to it. I just think, but Gunn does know his stuff, and for some reason that's not translating with DC at all. And last super chat before we move on, from Albert, for $5. I didn't like the scene in the first Wonder Woman, and would have walked away if my dad hadn't been with me. Oh, the boat scene. I'm sorry, the boat scene. Again, it was okay, guys.
That one.
Here's the thing. Is Wonder Woman a lesbian? I don't know. She was born and raised on an island of nothing but women.
Yep. For 5,000 years.
I'm sure she dabbled, okay? Because there were no fucking men. So there's no way she was a virgin or I don't know. I'm just saying she probably swings both ways, okay?
She does. It's canon.
Yeah. And by the way, that's a logical jump.
Yeah.
Because she was raised on an island of nothing but women. So, and women in very good shape, and women who are very gorgeous. So, or maybe that's my dirty ass mind. I don't know what's happening here, but I'm just saying.
I'm mad at her. I am mad at her.
But I think she might be bi at the very least. So,
yeah.
She is. That was a conversation I wasn't expecting to have today, but sure. Sure. Anyway, staying on to Warner Brothers right now. We got to talk about this. So we all know that the Matt Reeves Batman has been it's been in production for a long time, right? And in all fairness, we did get the Penguin in between, so like I get why it's taken so long to get the sequel to the Batman. I fully get it. And the Penguin was amazing, one of my favorite shows in the past like 10 years, if I'm being honest with you. So and honestly, I'm one of those people where I liked the Batman. There's a lot of people in my sphere who didn't like the Batman. They didn't like especially the third act. They hated the third act with the Riddler. I just like the movie overall, right? And I don't have any apologies for it. I thought it was well done. I thought finally we get a Riddler, that brings
Mhm.
some stakes,
Yes.
so I don't know. For me, I like the Batman.
Yeah.
So when they're making the second one, I'm thinking, okay, I'm hearing different things. I'm hearing Court of Owls storyline. I'm hearing all these
Mm.
things. I'm like, this could be kind of cool, right? Now, granted, it does interfere with the whole James Gunn like United
Oh, who
Universe
knows?
because
Yeah.
this takes place outside of Gunn's universe. But as an Elseworld story, okay, fine. Let's do it. Okay. And I was all for this, right? Sebastian Stan recently I read was cast as Mr. Zaz. All for that. I think that's great casting,
Mhm.
if I'm being honest with you.
Mhm.
But then I saw this, man, for Harvey Dent, and I'm just like, what are we doing, guys, man? And by the way, I love this actor, man. So
Yeah.
Tyree Henry Hill. Is that his last name?
Brian Tyree
Brian
Henry.
Tyree Hill. Yeah, that sorry guys, I don't have my glasses on, but he, if you've seen him in Atlanta or any of these other projects he's been a part of outside of the Eternals, he is a great actor, and I would love to see him play any other character probably, but Harvey Dent, and I know there's been a black Harvey Dent. I know Billy D. Williams played him in the original 1989 Batman. But he didn't play Two-Face. He was just Harvey Dent in the party scene, right? And I think everybody overlooked it because it was, it was like a 3-minute scene.
Yeah.
But to have, this actor who I do like play Harvey Dent, and I don't know if they're going to go the Two-Face route. If I'm being honest with you, I don't know. I just feel like, guys, why are we still doing this? Why are we still and I have a special hate for race swapping, man. I feel like it's lazy. I feel like what Hollywood is telling black people is that the only validity is in white characters, right? And you should feel lucky you get to play a white character. That's what I see when I see race swapping, right? And it seems like they haven't learned their lesson and they're doing it again and again and again. And it's like, when will Hollywood stop doing this? When will they learn that this doesn't help anybody, right? And the people who they're trying to attract, right? Because they want they want the modern audience that doesn't exist. But to get people to watch, to get normies to watch this shit, they got to get us first. They got to get the fans. And when the fans drop out, good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, you got nothing else, pal.
Yeah.
Like,
the normies aren't going to show up for this. Anyway, what do you think?
I agree with you. Beyond that, I think race and gender swapping is insulting and degrading. I think it in itself is racist and sexist, because what it says is that the first gender or race is, doesn't matter, and the one you're swapping it to isn't strong enough or important enough to carry its own unique or original character. So they have to have hand-me-downs.
Yeah,
and
that's exactly what it is.
It's again, it's that you stay down here. You stay right down here. And it's insulting to fans and to the creators of those characters and the writers of those characters who worked so hard to make them what they are. Insulting to the fans who's like, hey, I've been spending money on this character for years. Like, this is not the one that I've been spending money on and hoping to see again. So I think they know we are so sick and tired of this. Everyone is. We're bored with it beyond aggravation, I think.
But also, you're not doing the actors any favors with this.
No, because then they have to field all of these questions and the made up Mark Malkin questions.
Oh God.
Like, how does it feel?
Is this the gayest Batman?
Is the gayest Batman ever?
Oh my God.
But when journalists make up you know, racist fan bases. You know, when they turn it into, or when someone tries to flip that or twist what you've said into something racist to fit their agenda, and then the actors have to field that. They have to deal with that publicly. Then they get their talking points from their handlers or the studios, and then
Oh, and by the way, that's the
that
worst
just
part.
keeps rolling.
That is
Yeah.
absolutely the worst part.
Yeah.
It's the preemptive racism, right? It's the
Mhm.
hey, by
Yeah.
the way, these Star Wars fans, these Marvel fans, these whatever fans, they're racist. So be prepared for the racism that's going to come your way, right? They sit them down and they
Mhm.
tell them the shit ahead of time, and the smart ones will just ignore it because
Yeah.
they're smart about their career. The dumb ones will latch on
Mhm.
to that though, and
Yeah.
they'll repeat it.
Mhm. And you don't have to do what they say. You don't have to answer. You don't have to acknowledge. You can Tom Cruise that shit. Just, I'm sorry. We're here to talk about the movie or specifically the plot. If you don't have any questions about that,
But also,
then
I mean, if we're going to talk about race swapping, right? Like
Mhm.
because the problem is it's been done too much now, right? No one had a problem when Michael Clark Duncan played the Kingpin in the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck, right? Like everyone was fine with him being the Kingpin because he was huge,
Mhm.
he can act,
Mhm.
and they were fine with him being Kingpin. No one said anything
Mhm.
about that, right? No one said anything about
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson playing Nick Fury,
Mm-mm.
who is a white character, by the way. No one had a
Yeah.
problem with Sam
Started
Jackson
out.
playing Nick
Yep.
Fury. So in small doses, it's like, okay, that's an interesting take. The problem is
Mhm.
now it's become the norm,
Yeah.
right? It's become the norm now to race swap or gender swap
Yeah.
or gay them up. It's become like just the norm now to do this.
And they call it equality or equity or inclusion. As I'm going to use motherhood here. I'm going to use raising children as an example. If you do that to your kids, if you take from one kid and give to the other, specifically to give to the other,
Constantly.
that's going to cause a problem.
Yeah.
That's going to cause a really big problem. And I don't understand why they think that we aren't noticing. Like we don't know these things, you know? That's not equality. That's not equity. Taking from one to give to the other is not equality
But here's the
whatsoever.
thing. I think they do know now. They know. They know that people aren't
They
supporting
have
this
to.
anymore. Right? So why are they
Yeah.
still doing it?
I don't know. And that's like Caro and I have talked about this before. Like we we want to be able to just sit in one of these writers' rooms, you know, invisible, and just listen, you know, not interact or anything, but just observe, just hear what's going on, and learn how they come to these conclusions, because they know nobody likes this shit. Everyone's tired of it. They're not making money anymore. And
But yet they're still dropping hundreds of millions of dollars on these projects that they know that
it's got to be money laundering, because
yeah.
the kids at home, listen, they still have to share 50% of what they make at the box office with the theaters, okay?
Yeah.
So when you see those box office numbers and they're like, "Oh yay, they made their budget." They got to make double. They got to make double in order to break even. Like, they're not doing that. They haven't been doing that for years.
No,
What is
look, and it's weird for me because Matt Reeves is a really good director, right? And
Yes.
it's the same thing with Chris Nolan. These are guys who I in my mind, they don't buy into the big Hollywood bullshit. They do their own thing. And I feel like lately, like they're crumbling, like or they're kneeling, they're kissing the ring, man. Because you got
Oh,
Nolan
yeah.
with his casting for the Odyssey. You have this news now with Matt Reeves, and I'm like, God, are even the big guys like caving in?
They must know where the bodies are buried or something, because I mean, what is going on? And you're absolutely right with Matt Reeves and Christopher
You know what?
Nolan.
Keep talking. I
They
just gotta do one little thing.
Go for it. Christopher Nolan is one of the most I am a creative directors out there. I mean, he don't interfere with my process. Let me be me. Let me direct this film the way I envision it. That's how I've always seen Christopher Nolan. That's how I've always seen Matt Reeves. And you cannot convince me at all that the studios have not interfered with the Odyssey. You can't. Because we have Elliot Page now in one of the most, it was supposed to be prestigious films. Christopher Nolan is now an Oscar bait director, okay? And you're telling me that Ellen Elliott Page is now on that level of acting? When's the last time you saw that person in a role? Well, that was Umbrella Academy, like several years ago. You're telling me, like, after all these years, suddenly Elliot Page is Oscar-worthy level actor. Like, not even possible. So somehow, one of the most stubborn, I am a creative, do not interfere with my process, is getting obvious studio interference. Like, how? What has happened? What changed?
Yeah, the Elliot Page thing. It's weird to me because I keep thinking, as Ellen Page, right? Like, there's a certain performance that you expect out of, Ellen Page, because she was a female, she was an actress, right? So, we got the performances we got from her. As Elliot Page, the energy is different, right? That the acting has to be different. So, what does that even look like? Like, is she going to play nothing but effeminate men? Right? Like, it's a weird thing because, like, we don't know Elliot Page as an actor. Sure, I mean, there was Umbrella Academy, but I feel like she was still playing the same part, even as a quote unquote, man. So, like for me, that didn't really count. Like, I need to see what he or she, whatever, brings now to another project. Like, I can't see. I have such a hard time saying him. I'm sorry. I just can't see her playing like this masculine character, right? I just don't.
Yeah, it's very difficult. And as far as Lupita Nyong'o is concerned, I do think she is one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. I think she is just absolutely stunning.
Oh, and the question wasn't her beauty; it was just the fact that she's not Helena Troy.
She's not Greek.
Yeah.
And Homer specifically, he described Helen. He describes her. She had flaxen hair. She had blue eyes. She had skin like milk. Like that. Again, we're taking the creation from a mind that created the mythic tale, the mythic hero's journey, the man that created the way we write fiction today. And we are deciding we know better than he did. And we are rewriting our history in fiction.
And for me, going back to the Batman, though, I like Harvey Dent's one of my favorite villains, right? Like Two-Face is one of my favorite Batman villains. I wonder, are they going to do Two-Face, or is it just going to be Harvey Dent? We don't know yet, but I just feel like to go this route, casting is just so wrong. It's so wrong for either one, to be honest with you, for Harvey Dent or for Two-Face. It's just
And I agree with you. He's a phenomenal actor, but the energy just feels wrong. I don't see him as being able to pull off. I mean, he might surprise me in that area, but I just don't see him as being able to pull off that kind of character, whether he, gender swap be damned. I
well,
just
I
don't
mean,
see it.
even if the performance is good, he's not Harvey Dent. You know what I mean? Like he's not Two-Face. I don't know. I don't know.
He's not.
Do I think the Matt Reeves Batman is going to be good? I hope, man. Like if they're doing, especially if they're doing like Court of Owls, which is a great storyline. But again, I just feel like DC, all of this, the whole Warner Brothers thing, this is all just a mess. And don't get me wrong, Marvel isn't much better. It's not better, to be honest with you.
No,
it's just not. But DC is in more shambles. It's in more shambles to me at this point than Marvel is.
Yeah. Marvel is desperate. They're like clinging, they're still holding on to the edge, they're holding on there. DC hasn't even made it up there yet. Like DC hasn't.
No, they haven't. I mean, which is kind of sad, man. It's like it seems like every step forward is like 3 steps back. And we just got rid of Zack Snyder, and I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says, man. Zack Snyder, that his whole run was some bullshit to me. Like I did not like the DCEU. I thought Man of Steel was a solid movie. I felt like we should have got a Superman 2. We shouldn't have got Batman v Superman. But they went down this road. And here's the thing. Funny enough, I think Ben Affleck is one of the best Batmans that we've had. I thought Henry Cavill was one of the best Superman we've had. And the fact that they could make that work tells me everything, man. The fact that we got 2 of the best that we've ever had, and they still could make like a decent.
Well, and part of the problem, I mean, Henry Cavill had a problem with the direction they went with his Superman. Because Superman is about hope. Superman, like I said, aspirational. DC has always been about aspirational characters, stark differences between good and evil, right and wrong. People that you look up to, that you aspire to be more like. Marvel has always been about relatability. What happens when average Joe gets bitten by a radioactive spider? What would he be like?
Right.
DC, aspirational gods. And Zack Snyder, he made it gloomy. He tried to give Superman some darkness, and that's just not Superman. It's not.
I've always said I think Zack Snyder is a great visual director.
Yes,
I think as a storyteller, as a writer, he is the worst. I think he's fucking awful.
Oh my god, Rebel Moon was just like,
it was bad.
Who told you this was? Those are not your friends. Who read that? And
it was god awful.
Yeah, it was terrible, absolutely terrible.
But you know what? Though
that's like,
I knew he was a mess when he did Sucker Punch.
My son loves that so much.
Sucker Punch should have been a movie that worked on every level, right? It's like you had super hot girls in tiny outfits fighting mecha samurai and dragons and demon Nazis and all stuff that should have just worked, man. And it didn't. It just sucked. And I'm like, how do you mess that story up? How do you mess that up?
I tell you something funny. When my son turned 12, for his birthday, he said he wanted to rent Sucker Punch, and me, classic mom's mistake. I'm like, okay, well, I don't see why not. I thought it looked like a Sailor Moon movie. I was like, okay.
Right.
So I rent it and I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, this is not a Sailor Moon movie.
No, it's not. And honestly, it could have been just a really great action film.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And I knew then, I kind of knew then Zack Snyder was not a good storyteller. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's great visually. I'll
yeah,
always
right.
give the guy the visuals, man, but he is just not a good storyteller.
Terrible writer. Like just
I mean,
awful.
300 was fine, but again, he didn't write
Oh
it.
yeah.
He didn't write
No.
it, right? Watchmen, I thought was
God.
great. Like if you're gonna do
Absolutely.
like and I thought it was great because Watchmen is a very hard story to do visually,
Mhm.
like
Oh,
cinematically. That
I
is a
agree.
hard story, and I thought he pulled it off. Like maybe it wasn't like the best thing ever, but it was like I don't think anyone else could have done a better Watchmen than what Zack Snyder did.
Yeah. Yeah, he did his brain, I guess, was just like the right mechanism or put together just the right way to be able to pull that off. I agree with you. And I remember that being a huge question with a lot of people, like how? Like how is this going to get done? This is
Again, he didn't write Watchmen, so
Mhm.
whenever he doesn't write something, it turns out okay. But
Right.
if he has a hand in the story, it's probably not going to be great.
Dude, when I watched the two Rebel Moon movies, it reminded me of when you see a chick walking around outside in like a really like god awful outfit or really horrible hair, and you're like, which of your friends said, "Girl, you look good.
I know
Go on
who let
outside
you
like
out like
that."
that.
Who let you out like that? That is not your friend. All I kept thinking of was like, who did you show this script to and said, "Oh man, you got to make this movie because that is not your friend. You get that person out of your life, Zack Snyder."
But also, look, it takes a while to make a show, to make a movie, right? Whatever.
Yes, it
No,
does.
no one in the meantime was like, "Hey, this might be really bad," right? Like no one, no
Yeah,
one.
like not one of them, not
Now I
one
get it. Like
person.
you want to keep your job. You got bills to pay, so you take it on the chin and you just do a bad movie. But I just feel like someone didn't say something like, "Hey, this
None of the
looks awful."
actors. Anthony Hopkins, Sir Anthony Hopkins is in these movies. I mean, the
Yeah, that's crazy.
humiliation ritual. I mean, that's when you know you're surrounded by sycophants.
I won't say
When
humiliation, man. He got a check. He got a check. He
he
paid his mortgage, right? Like
That's true.
it is what it
And
is.
I mean, Anthony Hopkins is definitely like I zero fucks given.
Oh,
I'll just
if you talk to any British actor, Jeremy
yeah.
Irons, any of them, they'll tell you, "Oh, a paycheck's a paycheck."
Yeah.
Michael Caine is shameless. He's like, you know what? That shitty movie I did paid for my beach house.
Christopher Plummer.
Another
Christopher
one, right?
Plummer did Star Crash, that
Oh God, I remember
horrible
that. Yeah.
Italian, yeah, Star Wars knockoff, and he's like, "Oh, I did it for like $400 and a 3-day weekend in Rome. I do love Rome."
I mean, look,
It's like,
some people just need to eat, right? And it's like, and I get it, but
yeah.
and that's why, like, when it comes to the race swapping thing, I get why the
Mhm.
actors take the roles, right? Because people are always like, why did they even take the role? Because they got bills to pay, because they want to wear nice things and they want to like eat at nice places, right? I mean, I get why they do it. I just don't think in the long run it's going to pay off for them.
Yeah. Yeah, because look what happens. People take to social media. We go on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, and we're like, God, I cannot can stand Mark Ruffalo. I can't stand this dude anymore. I've muted his name or blocked him on every single platform I'm on. I can't stand him.
All right, we're going to take a few more super chats and we're going to get to the next topic, because the next topic is a little bit more hopeful, guys. It's not all doom and gloom. We have some hope on the horizon. So, Albert, for $5, Black Harvey Dent and Batman and Robin would be Obama on one side, Rick James on the other side. I would love to see that, by the way.
I'm Harvey Dent, bitch.
I would love a Rick James style villain, man. Let's see. That would be some wild shit. All right. Let's see. Next up. Oh, Did that one already. I really hate the way StreamYard has to set up now.
Dude, StreamYard is bleh.
All right, here we go. Anakin turns to the dark side for 199. I totally agree with Verbal about the race swapping. Thanks, man. And you know what's funny? I've noticed a lot of other, like, you know, a lot of black people feel the way I do. Even the ones that won't say it out loud because, you know, they want to, you know,
Yeah.
virtual signal. But they know what I'm talking about when I say that
Yeah.
they're giving us the cheap end of the stick with this stuff.
Yeah.
That one already. Like like I said, it does us no favors at all. Albert for $10. Elliot Page is learning it's easier to get work as a 5'4" cute woman than an odd-looking 5'4" man. Clint Howard.
Clint
you
Howard,
ain't.
you ate.
Wow.
I love
wild.
it.
Elliot was Kitty in the X-Men, and she was cute. She was a cute
Yeah, she's
Kitty Pryde,
adorable.
man. She was Kitty in the X-Men 3 and X-Men Days of Future Past. Yeah, no, I remember. We all remember, you know, Ellen Page. You know, it's a sad, it's sad what happened to her, or him, or whatever.
Them, whatever. Oh, this guy. This guy's mad because of I was saying it's dangerous to keep rewriting history on screen. And he asked me some stupid questions, and I said I'm not biting, so.
Alex for $5. Verbal question, pal. How do you feel about Republicans literally erasing our history? For example, axing the names of slaves who helped build Philly. I haven't really heard much about that. I don't. Where is that even happening?
Where are we talking about it today?
Yeah,
Like,
I like to think my finger's kind of on the pulse when it comes to the news, but I keep hearing like things like this, but I never hear like specifics as to where it's happening, who's doing it, you know, is it really true or not? But I mean, if we're going to talk about erasing history, man, you know, tearing down statues
Yep.
is kind of erasing history too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
it kind of goes both ways. And
Well,
I'm not for erasing any history. I think all history
No.
should be present for everybody to see. But
Mm.
you know, we
It's
got to talk
supposed to
about
make
it,
you
man.
uncomfortable. It's
We gotta
supposed
talk
to make
about
you
it.
uncomfortable.
It's not, you know, I don't know where this is happening, but if someone could like send me some links and I'll look into it. But I just, you
Well,
know,
he brought it up because of the Bridgerton conversation, and he said, "How is that worse than this right here?" And I said, "What are you talking about? Like, I never said that. I never said that." So
I mean, the Bridgerton thing is
it's
the Bridgerton thing
weird.
is goofy, man. It's very
Yeah.
goofy. It's put. You know what it is? It's fantasy. It's some, and
Yeah.
that's fine if they just want to do some kind of weird. Because I mean, from what I never watched Bridgerton, but from what I gather, it's a very sexual show. So maybe if it's some weird sex fantasy for people, then
It's very saccharine. It's a very
then fine.
saccharine.
You know, people can have their
you
sex
know.
fantasies where blacks are the ruling class in France of 1600s. It's like, which come on, but fine if that's their little fantasy, that's fine. But we all know that that's not true. So it's
Right.
yeah. But you know, hey, thanks for the super chat, man. And like I said, I'm all for not changing history of any kind. So. Albert
Amen.
for $5. Just tagged you in a YouTube channel post with my Spider-Man themed parody from the 60s cartoon. Hope you take a look. It's called Spider Sim.
Spider-Sim?
I will definitely give that a shot, man. I'll give that a look. Thank you guys so much though, man. Everyone who like, you
Yeah.
know, is sending super chats and engaging, man. I greatly appreciate it, especially since I've been gone for so long. So it feels good to be a little bit back. Speaking of back, because of the way my schedule is going to be, it's like everything's come full circle. So my show is going to be back on Thursday again, full time, because that's just the way my schedule is now. I'll be back on Thursdays, so no more Mondays. Maybe a Saturday just for shits and giggles, but definitely more so on Thursday, since that'll be my day off. But anyway, we got, like I said, some good news to finally talk about with Hollywood. Because it's been actually we don't. I'm sorry, I lied, because we have one more thing we do have to talk about.
Oh no.
we got to talk about this. What happened with Masters of the Universe, man? And here's the thing. I was actually looking forward to this movie, right? Like I gave it a little shit for the first trailer because it looked kind of whatever, but after the second trailer, I felt better about it, and I'm like, okay, I want to go see this. Now, understand, guys, I grew up in the '80s. I loved He-Man. I think I had almost all of them, dude. I had Castle Grayskull. I had Snake Mountain. I had Battle Cat and Panther, Skeletor's cat.
God, were you a rich kid?
I had uncles and aunts, and they knew what to get me for Christmas and my birthday, man. I loved He-Man, and I had all of them, even the crazy ones, man, that people probably forgot about, man. I even had the skunk dude. What was his name? Stinkor. I even had him.
Oh, you had Stinkor.
I had all of them, man.
That's
so I am a massive He-Man fan, right? So I accepted the Dolph Lundgren movie for what it was. I didn't love it. I didn't really like it at first, but then I came to understand that, hey, special effects and budgets and in the mid '80s were a little wonky. So whatever, they did the best they could, I guess. I hated the fact that it took place on Earth the whole time, but whatever. But I went into this movie, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought it was fine. I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I thought it was a good time, right? In fact, I think Derek Anderson, the DA, you guys know DA, he had mentioned that if this was the movie we had gotten back in the '80s, we would have all loved it back then.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because of how it looks and everything. And this would have been the movie that we wanted back then. I don't understand why it's not catching on with people. Like, why is it not doing well in the box office? Why are people, not liking it? Like, I know we all know Tom from Midnight's Edge, and I'm not going to go into his rant about, the movie. You guys have probably seen it all over the internet of him going off on this movie, but I thought it was fine, man. Granted, I was 2 gummies in, but I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a good time. It was a good time. So but I don't know why people just aren't liking this movie.
I don't know either. It might have something to do with Man-at-Arms being swapped. I saw a lot of people complaining about that before the movie even came out. Honestly, I'm a kid of the '80s. I watched this cartoon quite a bit growing up. My brother had He-Man toys. I had He-Man toys. I had all the She-Ra stuff. I was super into it. And it really didn't bother me that much that Idris played Man-at-Arms. It didn't. I was more upset that Orko wasn't.
Yeah, I would have loved more Orko in the film.
Yeah, I was upset about that. I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it. The soundtrack was like,
oh, the soundtrack was amazing. It was so good.
Notch. Like, they played the Highlander theme. Not only was that an amazing callback to, an earlier scene, but I mean, you cannot go wrong with anything from the Queen soundtrack. I mean, from the Highlander soundtrack. Queen is just,
I agree.
Oh, so good. Soundtrack is amazing. The kid, Nicholas Galton, I know I'm mispronouncing his last name. He's not quite big enough for He-Man. He's not as impressive as I think he really should be.
I agree. Okay, I agree, but here's the thing. How much, who could they have gotten to be that massive and still be somewhat of a decent actor, man? Like,
that's true.
Maybe Zac Efron. If you saw the Iron Claw guys, Zac Efron,
yes,
was huge,
such a good movie.
Huge.
Such a good movie.
And maybe actually that probably would have been better casting. But I felt like this guy did a great job of playing Adam.
Yeah, and I felt like it was self-aware.
Oh, very.
It knew what it was. And I really do hope they make more, because the first movie, I mean, yeah, you really do have to wow people so you can make your money so that you can make another one, but you're also kind of finding out who you are with the movie. You're kind of finding the voice also. And I think they found that and really kind of got a nice little throughway and could really bake something of it, in terms of an IP.
I think my only real complaint was I felt like some of the comedy just did not land, man. I felt like they were trying way too hard to be funny and do innuendo, and I get it,
Yeah.
especially when you got characters like Fisto and Ram Man. I mean, I it's like I get it, the jokes are there, right? But
Yeah.
but it was a little too much, right? It was a
Yeah.
little too much. It was like, okay, we get it, guys. He fists stuff. We understand. We get the fisting joke, right? We get the head joke with Ram Man. We get all of that stuff.
Mhm.
So let's move on. I feel like they stayed
Yeah.
on that way too long.
And that might be part of the problem. I have seen people mention that more often than anything else. That the race swapped Man at Arms, a couple people calling it woke like that. I really didn't understand. Like that was supposed to be a joke. I think the he him thing.
Yeah, and it was goofy, and
Yeah.
the whole Man at Arms thing. Like, it didn't bug me as much as I thought it would be, and maybe because it was Idris
Yeah.
Elba, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I mean, at least they got a good
Yeah.
actor, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
I didn't like the whole him being a loser drunk thing after what happened, but then I thought, well, then again, he failed his king and queen,
Yeah.
right? He failed. He's never failed before, right?
Mhm.
And he fell off, right? But he had a redemption arc, right? It's like he fell off, but he got his confidence back, he got his honor back, and he, came back to what he was supposed
Yeah.
to be. So I'm like,
Yeah.
there was a story there,
Mhm. And I did like, and I know this isn't a popular opinion. Maybe it's because I'm a girl, but I did like that the names of the characters were actually Adam's childhood nicknames for them.
That was cool. I really liked that.
I th- yeah, I liked that. And then they were at the end, they were like, "Well, what was, your name for yourself?" And he's like, He-Man. And they're like, "What?" Like, that's so redundant, isn't it?
It was pretty
I
tongue in
I
cheek,
thought
man,
that
and I
yeah,
like that though.
yeah,
Like, look, here's the thing. I'm
yeah,
sorry, but if you're doing a Master of the Universe movie, there needs to be a little bit of a wink and a nod. You know what I'm
yes.
saying? Like, it can't just be a
Like,
super serious He-Man movie. I
it
mean,
cannot be
it
because
can't.
first of all, the whole thing, the whole cartoon was created to sell toys.
Yes,
It was all made to
yes.
sell toys to little
And I'm
kids.
sorry, when you have characters named Fisto, it's not going to be a super serious movie. Like, it's just not. And again,
Exactly.
guys, you're talking to a He-Man fan, right? Like the guy who had all the toys. I understand, and I take it very serious, but He-Man has always been a wink and a nod. Hey, and you know what? At least they didn't make Adam gay. He's actually straight in the movie.
He is.
So
And I that was something else I was gonna say, like, how can you like not do the tongue in cheek wink and a nod when in the cartoon with Adam? Because one of my very dear friends was very upset because she felt like, they were making fun of Adam or He-Man the whole time. It's like, well, in the cartoon, they were always giving Adam shit.
yeah, no, absolutely,
Always.
yeah. Like that whole
Adam
scene at
was
the end where they were laughing together, I was like, that is so from the cartoon. That was literally from the cartoon.
It's so funny that Adam wore that stupid chiton, and shorts and white tights and boots. And he just looked stupid, and he had this stupid hair. He just looked dumb, and then he turned into He-Man, and suddenly he was amazing. The only thing that I had any kind of like, well, why did they do this? It was, I really wish they would have made it to where nobody knew except like Cringer, that and the, the sorceress, that Adam was He-Man. Like nobody else
Okay, but how could they
knew.
even play that off, right? Like it's
It could have been fun. It
it
could
could
have
have
been fun. I'm just
actually,
saying.
but they did hit on it at the end, or when they were just kind of like, does he
Yeah.
know that we know? No, I look,
Yeah.
I loved all
We
of that.
already know.
Look, guys, here's the thing. I can't. I'm going to say it. I recommend watching the film if you haven't seen it, and if you just want to have a good time, because that's really what it is. Go watch
Yeah.
He-Man, man. I don't know why it's not doing better than it is. Like I really don't, because
Yeah.
even if you weren't a He-Man fan, if you knew nothing about He-Man, it was a fun movie.
Yeah. It's the Leto curse is what it is. Just pretend that it's not Jared Leto
But he was
as
so good.
Skeletor.
He was good as
he was.
Skeletor.
He was, but I still pretend it's not him because I can't stand Jared Leto. He's a cult leader.
Look, man, I'm not gonna lie. There was a time when I thought, hey, being a cult leader might be kind of a fun job, but
I'm not surprised.
I have this weird fascination with cults, by the way. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that.
I do too.
I
do
have a
too.
fascination. I study them. Not that I want one. I don't want a cult, but there's a fascination there, right? So
Yes.
if Jared Leto is a cult leader and he found a way to be one, I'm not going to judge him for that.
Well, see, that's where we differ finally.
Well, no,
Because I judge.
as long as everybody's having a good time, I don't judge him. Now,
I
if
don't
it's a
think they're all
suicide
having-
cult, then stop.
He owns an island and he walks around like Jesus. He wears like one of those, like a white Halston.
But I mean, if you could do it, wouldn't you? I mean,
Weird. Me? No, I want to be left alone. Get away from me. Why are you following me? It's creepy.
yeah, no. I honestly though, like I thought he did a great job of Skeletor.
He did.
Even like people were complaining about the voice. I'm like, I thought the voice was fine. Like he wasn't going to sound.
The voice was good.
He wasn't going to sound like Skeletor from the cartoons, right? That's almost an impossible voice to do in a film. Like
I kind of wish though that there would have been like a scene or something kind of funny where we find out he was kind of faking his voice the whole time and he really sounded like this. It would have been really funny.
You know what? Here's the thing. I think we would have loved it, but I don't think it wouldn't have happened, right? So like the voice he gave was fine. And actually, you know what? There was another thing I had a problem with this movie though. I didn't like Evil Lynn. As much as I wanted to, right? Like I love Evil Lynn as a character, and I felt like the way she played her, she was kind of overacting a lot. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, like there was something off about her Evil Lynn. And we didn't get enough of the sorceress in this movie.
I agree. We needed more sorceress, and I kind of wish she had real feathers instead of just like translucent whatever. That I remember saying that like to my husband, like, oh, why isn't it feathers?
And also, I don't know why people were saying that Teela was a girl boss. She was not a girl boss in this film.
She wasn't. And also my friend
she was just
like,
a soldier. Like she wasn't like a girl boss. I mean, she was like a strong woman, but that was it. I mean,
yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. That Cherche La Femme effect. They've done such a good job of killing us with the girl boss stuff that we can barely actually have a real well-written or even somewhat well-written strong woman character in anything without people screaming, oh God, not another strong independent female. I can't stand it. So it ruined it for everybody.
Just a good character, a good female character, man. And she was feminine, she was hot. I mean, she was all the things, man. Like, I don't know why they're trying to put her in the Ray category because she's nothing like Ray.
Because she opened her mouth and she said that she used some of her inspiration for the character was Ray Palpatine. And I was like, oh my God, Camilla, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, she shouldn't have said that.
Like, why? Just shut up.
She shouldn't have said
be
that.
Quiet. Yeah,
also, though, I remember her in Riverdale. I don't remember her looking like that. Like she must have worked her ass off to look like that in the He-Man movie because she was like solid. You know what I mean? Like,
I've
Like, there
never seen Riverdale, so I don't know.
well, 'cause in Riverdale, she plays a teenage, you know, she plays, like, high school, whatever, but in this, like, she looks, like, muscular, man, like, she looks like she, like, worked
Good for
out for this
her.
movie.
Good
Well,
for
she probably
her.
did. Anyway, guys, go watch He-Man. Yeah, I forget what the haters say, man. It's a good time.
Yeah.
It's worth the money. You know, I
Yeah.
would never steer you wrong. I would never tell you to watch some bullshit. So
Always find
definitely,
out for yourself.
yeah, yeah. It's a good film. It's a fun film. So, all right, we're gonna read one more super chat, then we're gonna jump straight into the other good news that I was talking about earlier. So,
Willie!
all right, Willie, the Monkey King. I love that character, by the way. I forgot what's the real name of that character. Is it Wukong? Wukong. Yeah. Right?
I don't
Anyway,
know.
I think Wukong the Monkey King, if I'm right. For $5.99 or for $8.99, was going to wait till He-Man was on Amazon to make up my own mind. Really hope they don't do my boy Skeletor dirty. They don't. Well, I mean, he gets his ass beat, but in a very cool way.
Yes.
Also disagree on Orko. He's terrible. How dare you, sir? I love Orko, man. And the way they did Orko in the film was actually pretty classic. So, especially if you watch the old cartoons. And Albert for $5. For the record, female characters in 80s cartoons were designed by female artists. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
I thought they were all men, but hey,
Today we learned.
the things you learn. All right, guys. So here's the thing, man. We've talked a lot of shit about Hollywood, and rightfully so. Okay. We're not being unfair here. They are fucking up pretty bad. But here's the thing. There is some good things happening finally in Hollywood, and we got to talk about it. Right? This right here. Obsession on the left and Backrooms on the right. These are two indie films that were literally made for pennies by Hollywood standards, of course, that are killing it, crushing the big studio films right now, man. Obsession, you know, I saw Obsession. I haven't seen Backrooms yet, but I thought it was a very fun movie. I thought it was clever, and the fact that it is killing, you know, Mando and Grogu, Master of the Universe, is killing all these big films. It says a lot, man. Curry, I'm trying to think of the names. Ken Parsons did Backrooms, and Curry Barker, I believe, did Obsession. And these, by the way, guys, these directors of these two films were YouTubers. They were literally YouTubers just like 2 years ago. Okay, like these guys decided to make their own thing, and you know what? It paid off. And props to them, dude, because you know Hollywood needed this injection. I'm old enough to remember, and you probably are too, Danny. The indie revolution of the '90s, right? Like when Miramax just took over everything, man, and it was all about the indie film, and you had guys like Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, Kevin Smith, Spike Lee. You had all these hot young indie directors just coming in and destroying the studio system. And it's been a while since we've had something like that. Like it really has. And these guys right now with these two films are doing something so exciting in Hollywood that I think is going to start a wave that I hope is going to start a wave where we just reject the BS and start supporting guys like this, because I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Obsession was a great film.
Yes.
Indy Navarrete, I knew she was going to be big for a long time. And the fact that, you know, she just killed it in this film, dude. I think this is the beginning for her. I think she is going to have a lot more roles after this. This is exciting stuff, believe it or not. Like this is something that we needed, and it kind of came at the right time.
I absolutely agree. And this is just the beginning. Not just for indie, but for YouTubers. I came across a couple more, bookmarked them on my Twitter feed somewhere, but more YouTubers are making movies. Caro and I, my editor, friend, co-host, we're going to be making a movie in the next couple of years. We have a show we do on Thursdays called Plot Holes and Payoffs, where we talk about the industry. We have guests on, and part of the show is we discuss what we plan the movie on camera, and we use the show to help fund it as well. So this isn't anything new. And it makes a lot of sense if you've been paying attention to what's been going on. So this last year, or actually it was this year. So this last season, actually, YouTube was the top of the Nielsen's. YouTube is watched more than any TV station, channel, streaming service, anything. It is number one for viewing all over the world. We are watched more than any TV channel.
Yeah.
Number one. These YouTubers right here, they have just dominated the box office. They have made way more money profit-wise. You consider profit margin here. They have made far more profit than any Hollywood studio film in years. YouTube has just kicked Hollywood in the ass for small and big screen.
And what was crazy,
over.
what's crazy is these movies have been in a theater, guys, for the past like month, and
they're picking up,
and they're still killing it. They're doing better week to week, which is insane. That's almost unheard of. That because usually there's a drop off after the first week, drop off, second week drop off. They are gaining money every week. We haven't seen this in a long
theaters.
time.
Obsession picked up like 168 theaters.
I don't think we've seen something like this since the Blair Witch Project, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that was 26 years ago. 26 years ago. It's been almost 30 years since we've seen something like this. The Hollywood bubble has burst. This is just the death rattle. The Hollywood bubble has burst. Independent film is taking over, and the throughway is YouTube.
Now, again, I told you guys that, you know, I think the budget for Obsession was something insanely small, man. It was like either maybe 5 to 10 mil. I think maybe 10 million, right? Which again, by Hollywood standards, that's nothing.
That's chump change, yeah.
Like you can't even make a movie for that, really, right? So here's the thing: this movie, you know, since the time of release till now, has made about 250 million. They bought in for 10. They're at 250 mil, dude. Like that is. If you're a studio, you would be masturbating to this, okay? Like those numbers are wild. That the profit margin for this is crazy, right? Let's take a look at Backrooms. So Backrooms, again, around the same price tag as far as as Obsession. So again, 230 million.
Okay. So you have it a little backwards. Sorry. Obsession was made for under $1 million.
Oh my God! Okay, so I was I was a little off. But then wait.
It was bought. It was bought.
For 10. Okay.
For 10.
Got it.
Backrooms was made for 10 million.
Okay, so I had them reversed. Okay, so
yeah.
Again, so made for $1 million, right? It has made $250 million. This is unheard of, man. Like this, and honestly, it's a win for us.
Yeah,
right.
Hollywood's been telling us this whole time you can't make a movie for under 600 million.
Oh, this is going to shatter all of that.
Yep.
Because we've been saying for the longest time that Hollywood has had these bloated budgets, right? It's like we kept saying, why can't Hollywood do a film for under 20 mil? Because it seems like they can't. And here these guys come along and prove us right.
Money laundering.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a big part of it, sure.
Yeah, I'm telling you. But yeah, they have just absolutely proved the lie, proved that Hollywood is just trash. It's all fake. They're lying. They can't do it anymore. They aren't doing it anymore.
Oh, but
And
we
here
just saw
you
it.
have, yeah,
We just saw
we
with Steven
have,
Spielberg, right? Spielberg,
oh
the king of
my
all
God.
directors, right? Just put out the most bullshit movie, right? Disclosure Day.
Oh my God.
These
I-
hot young directors, these guys from YouTube, destroyed them.
20 years old.
Yeah,
Kane Parsons is 20
20 years old.
years old, and he was directing Chitwell Edge 4. The
20 years old and dominating the box office, y'all.
Curry Barker, 26 years old.
Love to see it.
They're my children's ages, and they have just shown Hollywood where to kiss our asses.
And you know what though? It's always like that though, man. It's always like the young that sparks something new, man. It's like I mentioned, like about the '90s, man. All those guys were just young, hungry directors, man.
Mhm.
Robert Rodriguez, to make El Mariachi, he did like medical experiments to earn money. Like he would donate his body for medical experiments to earn money to make his movie, right? These guys
Yeah.
were young, hungry,
Yep.
and they blew Hollywood away, right? And we're kind of seeing that
Yep.
right now.
Yeah. It's about time. It took a while. But thank God, because I mean no one else was coming to save us.
I had written Hollywood off. I'm like, oh, we're done. Like the movie
Yeah.
industry, all that's done. And then these guys come along, and I'm like, it's almost like that scene in Empire Strikes Back where it's like that boy was our only hope, and Yoda's like, no,
Yeah.
there is another, right?
There's another.
That's what this feels like.
It's funny you said that because I was thinking, Leia, someone's got to save our skins.
Right?
Well, and you know, I've talked about this before because you know, Caro and I are working on developing our own film. You're publishing a book. I'm publishing a comic series and short stories. We got sick and tired, and you know, we have our own shows.
Yeah.
We basically do our own TV shows. We got sick and tired of looking for stuff to watch and do and entertain ourselves. We got bored. We didn't like what was out there, what was being offered to us, so we made our own.
And you know what though?
That-
I feel like that's how it always needs to be with art, man. Like there needs to
Yes.
be like just people who say fuck the rules, right? I'm going to do this my way, and they do something, you know. And again, blood, sweat, and tears, right? I mean, these guys put everything they had into these things. They didn't know it was going to pay off, right? They didn't know, but they felt the need to make it, and they made it, man. And
Yeah.
it's funny because I don't know if it's Obsession or Back Rooms, but one of the either writers or PAs or somebody is complaining, right? Because of all the money's made so much
Obsession.
money. It's Obsession, yeah. She's complaining because it's made so much money and she only got paid this amount of money. I'm like, yeah, but you took no risk. You took no
this
risk.
chick,
These guys who
I
made
know
the movie.
whole story by heart.
Okay, no, please
This
tell it
chick.
because I know bits and pieces of it, but I
Okay.
just
Her name is Shelly Choi or Sherry Choi. Young, very young. I mean, you have to be this naive and not
Oh, yeah.
self-aware.
yeah.
Let me explain to you all for who don't understand how the industry works. Dante and I both know, okay?
Painfully.
You don't yeah. By experience, you don't get raises, you don't get promotions, you get better. You get experience, okay? That's how you are able to dictate more pay and back end stuff, okay? It's by showing up and proving that you're dependable, reliable, and willing to do what is necessary for the film, what's best for the film. So this chick was supposedly the art director on the film. She accepted a contract. This is important for everyone to hear. She accepted a contract before the start of production that paid her $7,000. Again, they had a budget of $750,000. Their budget allowed them $7,000 for their art director. Okay.
And by the way,
That's
they shot this movie in a month, right?
Yep.
From what I
They shot
read.
it in a month.
So for 1 month, she made $7,000. Let's just keep that in
Yep.
mind.
Okay. So nobody has any idea when they start a production if that film is going to catch or if it's going to fizzle. Nobody knows. It is a risk that you take, a total risk. And you take it because you want to learn, you want the experience, and you hope. You love it. You love doing this. It's fun. It actually is. And again, you want experience, you want to learn. So she takes this job, she agrees to $7,000, she signs it, and she works as the art director. And when you work on these very small budget films, you tend to wear many hats because you don't have big crews. So you just work where you're needed. You know, some days you're going to need to be a PA. Some days you're going to need to help out the hair department or makeup.
Yeah, you do whatever
or
it takes, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what she did. That is what she did. And said not a word until the movie goes gangbusters. Goes amazing. And the Focus Films pays $10 million for it and distributes it and makes a shit ton of money. The excuse me, pardon me. Curry Barker gets a good payday because he was the director, and you know, that's your baby.
It's his
You're the one who
movie.
put all this together.
Yeah.
He came up with the money. That's his movie. So it does gangbusters, and suddenly this girl puts on her Instagram that I think it's time people hear this, that I only got paid $7,000, which is basically $300 a day. At one point, I was working so much, I got down to 90 pounds. And listen, this girl only has one other film credit to her name before this movie, and it was a student film. No, honey, you do not get to dictate more than
No.
$7,000 on a low budget film. No, that's not how that works. What that means, guys, if you have no credits to your name, you're basically a walk-on. You're nobody. You're
But
nobody.
also, she
You have
doesn't
no
realize she's
experience.
ruining her own
She's
career.
trashed her career now.
Yeah,
What she
because
has
no one's going to
done-
work with her.
Because what have you heard Indy Navarrete complain at all? No, she's gotten I think she got paid $20,000, and she was on Superman and Lois.
Yeah, she was
for
on a
several
pretty hit
seasons.
show for a little while.
Yes, and she did amazing. She really did. Not complained once. Why? Because Indy knows how the industry works. You do a hit movie, and your next movie, you're going to get a bigger payday, and you will get to dictate
That's where you negotiate.
more. That's where you negotiate. That's where you get to say, I want more this, I want this, I want that. Where Miss Choi fucked up was putting all of that on Instagram and bitching about it. So now, instead of them looking at the art on that film and saying, who was the art director? Ooh, Miss Choi. Let's call her. And she could have had a nice fat paycheck and a nice big credit. She could have been beating off offers left and right.
Yeah.
People calling her manager, calling her phone, emailing her left and right. But because she put it on Instagram, that's not going to happen for her. The real payday on a low budget film is the next film. That's what
And,
that
and,
is.
and this is what happens when you don't, have this kind of knowledge going into making a movie, man, because it's, again, guys, I said this at the beginning, man, it's a business. Okay. And like any business, you don't badmouth the people you work for, right? You don't badmouth
Right.
your industry, because what that does is it blacklists you, right?
Mhm.
Like, people have been blacklisted for less than this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I saw her post and I commented and I was like, wow, this is unsettling. And I explained to her why. You want to hear about a movie I worked on? You want to hear about a movie I worked on? Like, I was makeup, special effects, didn't even have a workspace surface, okay, to put my tools or anything. And this is immediately after reconstructive surgery on my knee. Had to walk up 2 flights of stairs with all of my equipment and products and everything because they didn't provide me anything except for some cheap Party City wig. They gave me no script, no notice, nothing. I just showed up and they're like, okay, you're going to do this right now. I'm like, what? Okay. Okay. No surface to work on, nowhere to sit down. It was completely filthy. I mean, shit in the toilet, bong in the fridge. It was so disgusting. And then at the end of the day, because they're like, we're going to bring your contract with us to set and then you can sign it there. And I was like, okay, didn't bring my contract. And I said, if I don't have my contract by the time I leave, I'm not coming tomorrow. That's how I don't work without a contract. They didn't bring it. So I told them I'm not coming tomorrow. They never contacted me with the contract. So I never showed back up, told them I wasn't coming. They never paid me for my work. Never. And they stole my mobility device, my saddle stool on wheels, for 6 months until I told them, I am going to post every single text you have ever sent me that says that you are going to pay me and you're going to give me my stool back and you're going to do this. And then you never did. So I'm posting it by the end of the week if you don't give me my stool. They didn't. I posted the text. I got my stool the next day. So I explained to her that is a bad set to work on.
Yeah.
That was. You worked on a movie set. I worked on a scam. Okay. Big difference.
Yeah, and look, we've all. I mean, luckily, I've worked on a few great sets, so like I don't have any complaints. But even when I did, God, the short work I did on Party of Five, man. I mean, like there's a precedence that's set, right? Like you can't. The one thing you cannot do is complain at all, right? Like you could talk about things in a very critical way sometimes, but you can't complain, and you definitely can't do it. And when I say complain, I don't mean like, with the people around you, but I mean outside of that, when you're talking media, you cannot. I mean, it was a different time back then. The media was, whatever, but you can't talk out of the family, if you will. You get what I'm saying? You can't talk bad about the family, right? So
it's especially if it's anything short of where's my contract.
Yeah, I mean, it's because again, Hollywood is a very small place, and word gets around fast. So you don't want to be that person because once that happens, your career is over. You're done. This girl, I don't know who was in her ear, but she fucked up. Like I this might be the end for her. To be honest with you,
I think it is. I mean, seriously, how do you get a job on a movie like this? I mean, come on. A movie that it was very well produced. This kid knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And it got picked up by Focus. Yes, it got picked up by Focus Pictures. And you were a head of department on this film. How do you get this job and sign this contract and not understand that your payday, your real payday, is going to be the next film? Your payday is that spot on the resume. How do you not understand that? Especially
in 2026. I'm sorry, but people should be way more savvy now than they were back in my time. You know what I mean? They should be way more savvy when it comes to this stuff.
I hate that, and the irony of our generation having to say the words, what's with kids these days? Because what's with kids these days? The
there's an entitlement, right?
Entitlement.
It's entitlement. They
It's
don't
so
believe they
shocking.
have to pay their dues. That's the problem.
Yes. Yes, it's not handed to you. You don't get rich in a month. You don't get rich and famous off of one job that you worked
Oh,
for
also,
1
you
month.
you don't get back end of anything that you didn't sign for. Like if you didn't sign a
No.
contract that said I get back end on this, then you get nothing but your base pay.
And you see all these kids, and they are kids. It's people under the age of like 28 who are siding with her
Of
and
course they are.
complaining for Indy Navarrete, saying, "Oh, she should get a piece of this. She should get, I can't believe they're making this much
Yeah, and you
money
know
off
who's
of
not
her work."
complaining? Indy. She's not
Indy
complaining
Navarrete.
because she
Yeah.
understands.
Exactly. She's getting so many offers right now. She doesn't have time to complain.
But in all fairness, she gets it because she's been in the business for a while, right? Like
Mhm.
she understands this stuff, right? I don't think this girl understood. And again,
Mm-mm.
there's a weird entitlement right now where people feel like they deserve, like you said, the living wage thing, right? Working at a movie theater. It's like, what are you talking about, man? Like
A 16-year-old doesn't need
working at
$20 an
McDonald's, I'm
hour
sorry,
for any
I mean,
reason.
you're going to get minimum wage. There is no, oh, I need to make $30 an hour working at McDonald's. Like, but I think
No.
that's what people think they deserve now.
No. And I the I was trying to explain to someone that your first jobs in this industry, like your first job in any, I'd say, creative industry, the pay really should just be something that whets your appetite, that makes you hungry for that next step,
Well, yeah,
that
because your
makes you
first
want to
project
keep
is never
pushing
going to be your
forward.
payday. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It should never be your payday because then you stop growing, you stop challenging yourself, you stop pushing the boundaries of your abilities and your capabilities.
But also, you don't have
So,
a name. You don't have a name yet.
yeah, you haven't earned that. You haven't
So
earned anyone's trust or belief, and it could be a fluke. It could have
yeah,
been luck.
and
It could
there
you
have
just
been
hit it at the
lots of
right
flukes,
time.
man. We've all seen one hit wonders, man. And one hit wonders aren't just with music, man. There's a lot of them in Hollywood, man. People who were hot for a minute and then just disappeared,
Mhm.
right?
Yep,
So, I mean, it happened a lot in
absolutely.
the 90s for sure. And people who were just blazing hot, then you never heard from them again. All right, a few more super chats, and then we're going to end it with some sad news. Willie was going. Oh, I already read that one. I'm like,
Yeah.
Willie's back.
While you read those, I'm going to use the little girl's room real quick.
Sure, absolutely.
PRP.
All right, here we go. Albert, for $10. Actually, to quote Rocky, if you think you're worth something, go out and get it. But you got to be willing to take the hits. So she can ask for it, but doesn't mean she'll get it. I completely agree. And by the way, that is one of my favorite Rocky quotes. That was from Rocky Balboa when he saw Into His Son, right? He was like, nothing hits you harder than life, So, damn, that was a great speech, man. Great movie, too. I really thought it was a good film. All right, next up. Here we go. Willie the Monkey King for $3.49. Money laundering, maybe probably the unions. Yeah. Yeah. No. Well, it's hard to say, man. I don't know how much the unions. I don't know if the unions are involved. Let's just put it that way. Okay. The unions have their own problems, guys, when it comes to Hollywood or just really any industry. But when it comes to this stuff, the laundering part, I don't know if the unions are a part of that. I mean, who knows? They might get a piece of it, but nah, that's an exec thing, right? The money's being passed to execs. So, but the unions are a problem. So. Albert for $5. Get an HD UHF antenna and watch some old shows. Actually, I have one of those. I watch old shows all the time. Grit, Heroes, and Icons, and Charge are three of my favorites. You can always hear sports on the radio. Yeah. Yeah, I have one of those antennas actually. There's I forgot the name of the channel or network I watch, but they play a lot of like All in the Family, the Jeffersons, Maude, if you guys remember that shit. With B. Arthur. What's Happening, which was a great show from the 70s. You guys never saw that. So, but no, I agree, man. I love old like 70s, 80s sitcoms. Love them. Okay, so we're all caught up there. Good to go. All right, y'all. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna end this on a bit of sad news. So
You have the best laugh, by the way.
really, you know, I've been told that my laugh is reminiscent of, I don't know if you ever used to watch like WWF back in the day, but there's a wrestler called Ted DiBiase.
Oh, yeah.
The $1 Million Man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So people told me like, you know, that I laugh like the $1 Million Man, which is kind of funny.
It's very hearty.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But anyway, guys, like I was saying, we had some sad news. We had someone pass away, man, who was, I would say, vital to a specific part of my life because I was going through a bit of depression. And this was back in 1996 or end of around 96, 97. And
well, I don't know when your depression was, but I know.
Well, no. Well, the depression was 96,
started.
But like I remember, you know, it was kind of off and on, and it carried into 97. But Buffy the Vampire Slayer had premiered, and I thought it was going to be this goofy, dumb show. But at the time, I needed something dumb and goofy to kind of get me out of my funk, right? And sure enough, man, I watched this show, and it turned out just to be some of the best shit on TV. And I became a huge fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer from season 1 on, right? Watched Angel, Firefly. I became a Whedon head after that first season of Buffy. But a big part of that had to do with Anthony Head, man, who played Rupert Giles, the Watcher of Sarah Michelle Gellar's Buffy. And oh man, he brought so much fucking heart, man, to this role. And as the show went on, you just see him becoming more and more of a father figure, man. And he was just such a great representation of a strong man, dude. Like and when I say strong, I mean just a guy who, you know, he went in there and fought vampires with her, but at the same time, man, he was very heartsy. He cared. He took care of these rascals like they were his own, you know, Buffy, Xander, Willow, all of them. And you know, he's been in other things like Ted Lasso and a bunch of other, you know, projects. Some of you guys might even remember him from Repo, the genetic opera, which was a wild musical. But he was very talented, man. The guy could sing, he could do it all. But he passed away this week, man. And it was, you know, it hit me harder than I thought it would. But we've already lost Nicholas, who played Xander. You know, we lost Michelle, who played Dawn.
Not that long ago. Like Nicholas Brendan just passed like
like last year, ago? Right? Or was it this year?
I think it was just a month ago.
Yeah, so we've lost a few of them already, man. And but Giles, man, like it's sad. It's just sad. And I don't know. What do you have to say, Danny?
I feel, I mean, pretty much the same way. You know, I was 12, 13, I think, when the movie with Christy Swanson came out. And I loved it because I'm like 12, 13 years old, and I thought it was hilarious and fun. And I've been a massive vampire nerd since I can remember. So when I heard that they were doing a Buffy the Vampire Slayer series, it did not even affect me that it was a mid-season replacement. I was like, I don't give a shit. I'm invested. Like, let's do this. I remember what I was doing, what I was wearing, where I was when I watched the very first episode. I was so excited. I was hooked right away. I've been in love with David Boreanaz ever since. Thank you, Jesus,
you and every other woman.
Blessing us with him on this earth. He's gorgeous. Anyway, The dialogue was fantastic. In fact, Caro, again, I name drop her all the time because she's fantastic at what she does. She gives this advice, and you're going to hate this advice because you and I have talked about this so many times. But her advice is, if you are struggling with writing dialogue, watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer or watch Firefly. But Dante hates that because people have tried to replicate that too much ever since.
They never get it
now
right.
They never
That's
get
the
it right.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah. But it had snappy dialogue. It was funny, but exciting. And of course, the glue holding it all together was Rupert Giles, Anthony
Yes.
Stewart Head. And the way you were describing him the last time we talked about it, it really struck me. I had never thought about it that way before. And I feel like what you were actually describing is an actual good stepfather.
Yeah.
Like a stepdad who comes in, and what a perfect time to talk about this. Father's Day is tomorrow. Um, a stepdad who shows up in a child's life after their biological father has passed, and like God has perfect timing because he does, brings in the perfect person who loves this kid and is there for them and teaches them all the things they need to survive and succeed in this world. They are a willing bonus father. My daughter is very lucky to have one of those. And when you and I were talking about it, I was like, oh my God, like that, you're absolutely right. He is like this icon of bonus dads.
Yeah.
That's really amazing to have something like that. He was such a character that we don't have them anymore. We have really kind of we've really shit on dads a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Like dads have become buffoons in the media. They become clowns. They become, or they're horrible monsters, right? Like you can never just have a
Yeah.
good man be
Or
a
they're
dad anymore,
gone. Or they're not around.
Yeah. Or
They're
absent. Yeah.
just vacant, absent. In a time when, I'm trying to word this correctly, in a time when that was starting to disappear, we were right at the beginning of that happening. He was kind of a beacon, and they Joss Whedon did a really sneaky thing, I think, because he wasn't father, he wasn't dad. They never vocalized it. Never. Not once. Not once did anyone say, thank you for being this father figure. I've always seen you like a father, blah, blah, blah. It's never said. But the emotion is always there. The sentiment, always there. All the things that he does for the group is very paternal.
Yeah.
Very. He instructs, teaches, protects, cares, looks over. It's very stunning how he pulled it off. It really, really is. And to lose Anthony Stewart Head, or Anthony, is it Anthony Head? Yeah.
I mean, that's his full name. He's going by both, but
I know. And I get his name mixed up with Rupert Giles, like all the time, because he
because they're almost synonymous, right? I mean,
I hate how women, okay, women use the term iconic so flippantly. I do. It gets overused. But he really is iconic. Giles is an icon, and his portrayal of Giles inspired an entire organization in my books, in my universe. Like, just just his character, just his portrayal of this one little character ends up inspiring an entire organization in my universe. Like that, for me, for writers, that's like, that's deep. That's very personal. That's, something that really, really touches you. His voice, man. Oh,
Oh yeah, and the guy could sing on top
oh,
of
oh
being
yes.
a great actor. He has a great voice, you know.
That musical episode in season 6, Once More with Feeling, Joss Whedon accidentally, because for you guys who don't know, Joss Whedon actually wrote and composed all the music for Once More with Feeling.
Which is crazy to think about, but yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, he's actually personality-wise a bit of a suspect human, but he kind of born into it, He is a generational Hollywood writer. His grandpa worked on I Love Lucy, his dad worked on Roseanne, and that's how he got his start. So I think he kind of comes by it naturally. What can you expect from a guy whose name is actually Joe, but he thought Joss sounded cool?
Yeah, that's
So he
kind of funny.
changed it to Joss. But he wrote and composed this musical episode, and it's really, really amazing. It won like a shit ton of Emmys.
And by the way, it only worked because of Giles. It only worked. Like it would have been
Yes.
campy and corny without him and what's her name who played Tara?
Amber Benson,
Amber Benson. Like it worked because
Amber
of those
Benson.
two.
because they could actually sing.
Yeah.
Nobody else could. Well, James
James
Marsters.
Marsters.
James Marsters too.
Masters. Yeah. Spike.
James Marsters. Yeah, it's Marsters. He was in a band back then. I think it was actually called Ghost of the Machine.
Oh,
So
right. It was like a punk band or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, love that man.
Which
too.
I mean,
Anyway,
which fits. Because he was based on Billy Idol, so
yeah. So I'm just digressing so much, but I can't help it because I love Buffy so much. So anyway.
Anyway, you're saying about the music.
Yes, he accidentally composes the absolute perfect send-off song for Anthony Head.
Yeah, that was wild. Because like when you think about it now, it's like Jesus.
When we were talking the day he passed, I was like, did you not immediately hear him
absolutely.
singing in your head? It just goosebumps all up and down my arms when I listen to it now. I mean, I got teared up because
Well, the song is called "I Wish I Could Stay."
I wish I could stay. He's so sad, and he's talking about how he wants to be here. He wants to protect her and cover her in this hedge of protection and hold her in his hand and do everything for her like a father would a daughter. But he knows if he keeps doing this, she will never be able to take care of herself.
Yeah, she'll never be her own woman.
Yeah, she'll never stay. He's just standing in her way. And that is something that every parent goes through. I think not enough parents are considering that these days, but it was a very, very paternal song and intensely poignant considering he passed away. And it's just so unbelievably heartbreaking that with him gone, Giles is gone too, and we do not have characters like this anymore in this day and age. And I really wish you wouldn't have asked me to give my thoughts because I have been going on for like an hour and a half.
No, I honestly you said everything that I was thinking. I mean, it's the we don't have strong father figures anymore as far as like with media goes. The fact that he was able to do that for 7 seasons, I mean, it was special, man. It was a special time.
It was.
And that was to me, a special show. Buffy will always be one of my favorite shows of all time. So
Me too.
I put it up there. And people are going to laugh, but I'll put it up there with Breaking Bad. I'll put it up there with anything else. I love Buffy.
Agree. I could not agree more. It is one of those series that was like a turning point for
Yeah.
all series.
And honestly, it got me out of my depression. I mean, it was like, I was invested in every single character. I was invested in their stories. Same thing with Angel. I mean, I loved every character in Angel. I was hooked on that show. I mean, it's just, and again, just a spin-off of an already great show,
Yeah.
right? And they created another great show from it. So I mean, but yeah,
I hated the way it ended.
we definitely lost,
Yeah.
a giant, man. And the thing is, this will only matter to people who are fans of Buffy. I'm sure, if you never watch the show, then it doesn't really mean anything. But if you do watch the show, though, it's to me, I would always recommend it. I would never tell someone not to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
It has an insane rewatchability factor.
Oh my God. I used to do a yearly rewatch of that and Angel.
Oh my gosh. I've watched it. Dude, we could totally do like a Buffy Angel retrospective show just between the two of us.
It's anytime. Anytime.
It's oh my God. Like I've said so many times that I would be lying my ass off. It would be an amazing diet for me if I said, oh, Buffy hasn't had any effect on Veiled Legacy or anything. It didn't inspire me at all. It would be
well, I mean, we joked about the
total
fact
lie.
that people try to copy Joss Whedon's writing. Obviously, that show inspired a lot of writers.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of writers, because
Absolutely.
they've all tried to copy the style,
I sent when I wrote, because Veiled Legacy is adapted from my book One Foot in Darkness, and when I first wrote it back in 2003 2004, I sent Joss Whedon a copy of the manuscript.
Really?
And yeah, he sent it back, and I remember holding it going, Joss Whedon rejected me. Like, I was so excited.
We're going to talk about Joss Whedon rejection stories.
Let's hear it.
The very first Comic-Con I ever went to was back in 2003, right? And this is before Comic-Con was Comic-Con. This is before like all the hype. This is when you can go to the door. You can go to the door and get your 4-day badge right there at the door, right? You didn't have to reserve anything. You didn't have to do it online. You just went straight there, and they had plenty of tickets, right? This is before Iron Man, before the MCU. This is before it got flooded with everybody. So this is when only the hardcore people went to Comic-Con. And I remember going that year, and it was my first time ever going, and I went there for the purpose of talking to Whedon, because I knew he would be there, right? Like, because at first I was like, what the hell, Comic-Con? Why would I go all the way to San Diego? So, but when I heard he was there, I'm like, okay, because I have this script I want to give him, right? I wrote this spinoff for Angel, for Illyria, the character, for Fred's character, Illyria.
I love Fred. I love Fred.
And if I'm being honest, I was a young writer at the time, so it wasn't good. But I remember I went there to pitch him that, and I got my chance. I ran into him. We were talking for a little bit, and I told him about this script I had, and he just gave me the look like, oh, great, another one. And I'm like, but dude, you don't understand. Like, this is really good. I was young, and I had no idea what I was doing. I never pitched a script before. It was a good lesson to learn, but no, I just remember like the look he gave me was like, absolutely not. So,
how many people don't have the balls, the testicular fortitude to do that, though, and to have the confidence to say,
either the balls or just complete stupidity, but I had both.
It's a fine line, my friend.
I had both. I had the balls and the stupidity to just do it. And but again, a good lesson was learned. But no, I'll always remember that, because I'm like, you know what? That's not how you do it. That's not how you do it. So, but yeah,
That's
no,
so awesome, though. It's a great story.
I had a lot of my earlier work and it had to do with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So a lot of my early writings had to do with that.
You know, my first writing, like as a kid, like when I first started making characters and stuff, it was X-Men. I was just knocking off X-Men and stuff. And that's usually how it starts. That's how you learn. In fact, John Gardner, you know, very famous fiction author, and I mean, he wrote a very, very famous book that's kind of a staple in teaching young writers, you know, the art of fiction. He tells you, write other people's stuff, like practice, write how they do, write their stuff. Don't publish it. but
No, of course not. But yeah, no, I get
over
it.
and over
It's
again.
just exercise. It's like exercising the
Yeah.
muscle, you know.
It's good for you. It's very good for you. That's how you learn. And
But
yeah,
anyway, man,
it's good stuff.
R.I.P. Anthony, and you will be missed for sure. Inspired a whole generation of
Absolutely.
people. All right, I'm gonna read one more super
Absolutely.
chat, and we're gonna be off. I don't want to take Danny's whole day. She probably has better things to do. Albert for $5 did a quick Google search, and the US channel you speak of could be My TV. Actually, you know what? I think it is, or Antenna TV. No, it's Antenna TV, not My TV. CHS, it's in Hamilton, Ontario. So I don't think that's the one. No, I think the one I have was Antenna TV, I believe. But because we're talking about how, you know, on if you have a certain antenna, you can get like all the old sitcoms and all the some old TV shows, and I watch that all the time. So, but thanks, man. Thanks for looking that up. Anyway, guys, thanks, man. You guys spent a lot of time with us today. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the engagement. Hope it was all entertaining for you, man. Danny, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me here on YouTube at this little thing right here. It says at Comics and Everything. I'm coming back from break this upcoming week. I go live Wednesday and Thursday at noon Eastern time, and on Fridays at 1 Eastern time. And I've got a new breakdown I'm getting ready to record a new breakdown that's going to be dropping soon on Big Barda from DC Comics. And I'm really excited about that one. I love Big Barda. She's
I
cool.
love I love the new guys, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Jack Kirby at his best. Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
absolutely. I'm on virtually every single social media platform there is. Just type in Comics and you will see this face. And you can find my comic book. You can pre-order it and back it over on fundmycomic.com. Just type in Veiled Legacy and you'll see a big thing that says Veiled Legacy in my face, and it's there. And soon be on the lookout for The Last Dance of the Hesperides on Amazon Kindle.
Sounds good. Oh, sorry, we got one more chat that came through.
Oh.
That definitely want to leave before I read that, and that is from Albert for $2. I used to call it Buffy the Insomnia Slayer. Yeah.
Whatever works for you.
Yeah, I mean, look, it wasn't for everybody. Okay, it's
right.
Like any show, right? Like not every show is for everybody. I never personally got into Stargate. I know a lot of people love Stargate. Personally, never got into it. Here's a great show. So hey, I get it.
Dude, Nina is killing it on the Save Stargate front.
Nina is
girl.
really trying to keep Stargate alive, man, and good for her.
I want to do like a Save Stargate stream with her.
I mean, ask her. I mean, she's down. She's always down to talk about Stargate. So,
okay.
Anyway, guys, have a great rest of your day.
Bye, guys.